You're on your own now, pal. Are you guys gonna do like the same one you did before, but kind of just a variation?
I'm getting
more or
Yeah.
less.
All right.
Kind of do it all
Everyone.
over again.
Fantastic.
But we're good.
Here we are. Oh,
Can people just hear that? You guys
can you mute that?
Like the same way? Oh, sure, the mute her.
all right. Fantastic. Here we are, everyone. Good to see you, John. Ooh, Lisa's in there. Howdy, folks.
I am. That's me.
Francisco. Photoshop Cafe is in the house. Who are these people? Interesting.
suspect characters.
So yeah, let's get this party started. I might be uncomfortably
Oh,
close.
you come. I like you. It's all right.
But as
He smells really good.
As it says below, my name is Paul Trani with Adobe. I just get to watch these cool cats create cool things. So we'll just do a quick intro. If you say your name and kind of what you do for a living, you could make up stuff.
I could. I'm a circus performer, and my
Oh,
name's
there we
Lisa
go.
Carney. I'm a print finisher for the entertainment industry, primarily television and film. Been doing it for a long, long time.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Colin Smith, founder of Photoshop Cafe, and currently right now I make Photoshop tutorials and also have a channel on YouTube on Photoshop Cafe where I do weekly tutorials. And I have a background in print design and things like that as well.
Cool. Who's that guy in the end?
Hi, I'm Chuck Anderson. I'm a designer, photographer, artist from Chicago. I have a studio called No Pattern, and that's where you can see all my work and what I do. NoPattern.com and social media, whatever else.
Super cool. Well, it's great having you guys here. Just kind of what I'm showing actually right now. You guys can see we do have a little bit of an agenda. So just really thankful that you guys are here with us today, as well as everybody online. Mary, Felicia, David, everyone. Good seeing you. So we're going to dive into real projects based on this WolfBear ginger beer. So just creating a fun sort of work of art, whatever you want to do, really. All based around this WolfBear ginger beer. So they're going to be using Adobe Stock assets to do that. And we encourage you to play along, so we'll talk about that in a second. But they're going to share some time-saving tips and some cool things. I've seen some of them, and they've really surprised me. Like, you know, lighting a path on fire. Yeah, you could do that. It was really fun watching earlier. So they'll share their time-saving tips, and you guys will have a chance to win, as you guys are talking about in the chat. Oh, this little guy right over there. Who's that guy? Who's that little guy over there?
Make it less stocky.
Do you want to hold him up?
This
There
looks
you
like
go.
a short list.
Art director
I
from
need it
Hell.
to be gold.
Oh, yeah.
Make it more interactive.
What does that even mean?
Just make it pop.
Oh,
Make it pop. All right. Those are our marching orders, guys. Make it pop. Make it awesome. We plan on making it awesome.
I like it. I don't love it.
But we love you as we roll our eyes, hovering art director. And you guys have a chance to win him. He's like the only, I don't know if he's the only one in existence, but you know, he's like the very first version sitting right on the table. So, and you guys have a chance to win him as well as other things. We'll give away Adobe Stock credits, like a lot of Adobe Stock credits, which is like super cool. And you guys get a chance to sort of get your hands dirty as well. So I want to just kind of show my screen real fast if I could. Just so you guys know, in talking about this little contest, this Stocketition is what it is. And you will see the URL actually below. In fact, let me actually just click over here and switch this really fast. Just so you guys know what I'm talking about. There is a link down below if you guys give me 1 second. I got lots going on.
he does have lots going on.
Yes. Boom. Boom. All right. So I just had to show you guys this. I was showing your fancy stuff, Lisa,
Yeah.
but essentially this is the hovering art director Stocketition. You will have a chance to download this PSD file and just do what you want with those 20 assets and post to social media, either Instagram or Twitter, and with the hashtag Stocketition contest. Okay, so I'm going to show you the file, and I'm going to kind of walk you through some of the Adobe Stock stuff. If that works for you, Hugo, Joshua, Oh, hello from Napa. I'm also curious where everyone is from. If you guys want to type in there, you guys can. Let me know where you guys are from. I'm gonna do a quick little demo of basically Adobe Stock. So you can see this is actually the PSD that you'll get. Okay. I could start out just again with sort of an empty file in Photoshop or Illustrator, really anywhere in InDesign, doesn't matter, but I can search Adobe Stock from within the app of my choice. So right here, Adobe Stock, I want to search on mountains. Search. Oh, fancy. Results from Adobe Stock. So that's where all these assets came from. You can see them right here. Maybe help me pick. Ooh, that's kind of cool. This is such a hot palette right now.
Yeah, it is.
Don't you guys think?
Yeah.
Boom. I'm really digging pink, by the way. Can I say that?
Millennial pink.
Plenty. You can never have too much pink. So check this out. I like this blue one as well. So I'm going to save this preview to just my miscellaneous Creative Cloud library. And you can see it's appearing right here. Okay. So boom, it's there. I don't have to leave the app that I'm in. I can jump in, I can drop it right in here and start to work with it, okay? I can always right-click on it. Sure, I can license it, but I could also find a similar, all from within Photoshop or Illustrator, or I could view details of these files on the web. So that's just my jumping off point to get out to Adobe Stock, because there's a lot more you can do, by the way. So that's when I just kind of open up the browser, typically if I wanted to see everything like a little larger, or if I wanted to sort things. So let's just do a quick search right here. Let's do bear. B-E-A-R. Not different results depending on how you spell it.
That's fantastic.
Let's search by vectors, by the way. Let's do vector, bear, and I could do orientation, all that fun stuff. Whether I want people or not people, I like people, but I don't want people and bear. That could turn into a scary situation. So I could save this preview, or I could just license it. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to license and save it. Right. Ooh, this is kind of cool, too. Oh, and by the way, I love this, by the way. Has anybody ever, I feel like I've bought the same photo or close to the same photo before in other places. I don't know if I bought a photo, but this obviously tells me what I've licensed, and I've licensed a couple of them already. That's just me being forgetful. So you guys have all these assets. I'm going to move on because I want to see what you guys are going to make. But let's switch over. And let's clear this out. And there's my fancy bear. And it doesn't matter if I'm in Photoshop or Illustrator. It's going to be there for me. And I can make any change that I want to it. And I'll just do a clipping mask. Zip. Almost done, guys. This could be video, by the way. I could snag a video and drop it in here, by the way. This would be really cool if it was maybe the water's moving or something like that. Would be pretty cool. Actually, I do have an example
Make
of
a
that.
cinematograph out of it.
Yeah, exactly. Cinematograph, super cool. So I could right-click as well, by the way, and I'm like, oh, I like this, or the art director likes it. I can license that image, and it's going to, just get rid of the watermark. That's what's going to happen, and it'll show up. It'll show up accordingly, getting rid of the watermark, and show it as licensed. So you guys have all these assets, huh?
We do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here, on my other screen, it's saying, hey, do you want to license it? Why, yes, I do. So here's all the assets, guys. So if you registered, you should have a link for this file. But these are all the assets you guys have. And you guys have already started playing around with it. So I'm going to be quiet and see what you guys got going on. And did you guys notice where everybody's from?
Yeah.
I wonder who is up the latest at night.
That's a really good question.
It's 2 a.m. or something. I'm just kind of curious.
Bear with me.
Portugal, Europe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Australia? What time is it on Australia? As I look at Colin.
Yeah, right.
What time
You
is
should
it?
know.
What time is it in
What
Australia?
time is it?
next
What time
week,
is it?
Wednesday, I
Under,
think.
next week.
It's 9 a.m. I think if they're still up, that's a really late night.
It's a really late night, right? So awesome. We're gonna hit the West Coast and then into Australia. So that's cool. I'm gonna stop showing off, and I want to connect to you, Lisa.
Okay, let me connect on in.
Yeah. Do it. Nigeria. What time is it in Nigeria? Man, it's got to be late. There.
Aussies are just waking up. It's 9 a.m. Good morning. Good day.
Good day.
G'day.
Good day.
I'm from New Zealand, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I figure that's close enough, though, right?
Oh,
Oh, good.
it
It's
not?
basically the same.
You're
country,
about to
right?
get insulted. Watch the chat feed now. Watch
right.
New
Here we go.
Zealanders are
Here we go.
gonna-
I'm American.
New Zealand is about to eat you alive.
New Zealand is going to kill me.
Don't kill him. He's really sweet.
No,
Really.
yeah,
He didn't mean
somebody
it.
mentioned Australia, so that I'd ask. All right, so this is what you're seeing here. This is Lisa's screen. You got a little.
I got a little bear going.
Little bears is like, I'm just gonna play with my feet.
Yeah,
is that what
yeah,
he's doing?
yeah, he is.
That's like really. That's pretty cute.
So we'll see. Just going to roughly pull out a composition here and see where it goes. Keep everything loose. Don't tighten down anything till you've committed and you know you like it. Little bear, baby bear on him. Yeah, maybe that'd be all right. So I have to say, I don't worry about any of my seaming or
So
anything
that Canada's the same as America, right?
until it gets closer to finishing time.
That would be a compliment.
I knew those comments were gonna come. You can't say that and get away with it.
Cool.
So you're chopping up some of this. This is looking good. So you'll see the links below, by the way, in the description. You'll see the Hovering Art Director link if you want to participate and get these assets. You're already moving along. Looks like we're doing a square size that fits Instagram.
Yeah.
Because again, this is going to get posted to social media. He seems like the most Did you do a? Let us know if you're doing any shortcut keys. I feel like you're.
I
like a
probably
pro.
am, and I apologize. I don't even think about them anymore. I just
I
kind of do
know.
them.
I love it.
I'm doing a very quick select to roughly figure out my composition. I'll worry about the seaming of all that later.
Mm-hmm. Just making some layer masks.
Yep, just starting to put it into position. So here's what I've got. I've got a basic background. I dropped in the city, and on the city, I have it on screen mode.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I put a levels move on it to just pull the blacks, so that's the city normal. If I pull the blacks, then all you get are the highlights. So I don't have to. It's a really crappy mask. Look at my crappy mask. Doesn't matter.
It totally It totally works. You
Yeah,
can totally
it
get
just
away
hides
with
all
it.
that. So try
It
to.
could be covered up by the bear too. eventually.
Yeah. Got my little bear sitting there.
He's cute.
Again, don't worry about any of the seaming. The masking is all total crap right now. Because I'm gonna wait.
We're only giving them 2 hours.
Right, and I want to make sure the composition's good before. And then the ubiquitous flare. It's so easy to do. It's just like a little orange gradient. Put on screen. And stick it in the back for the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe behind the bear. We'll see what it wants. I think it's going to want to be on top, but we'll see. Yeah.
And it looks like I don't know if Canadians out there want the moose. What is it? More moose in Canada?
Moose is coming.
I don't know.
The meese?
Hey, we're open to whatever, guys. We're just designing live. We're like, hey, entertain us. Make it cool now. So that's essentially what everybody's asking you guys to do.
No
But
problem.
you have an awesome. Your Creative Cloud library is just loaded with items cut out, so that's good. Same thing for the asset that you get, that PSD. Most things are cut out, and it's actually like a gig, so they're really high res. So
we'll stick the moosey back there somewhere. You know what? I think we need it. It is wolf, right? Let's get the wolf in there.
oh yeah.
All right, move her up top. I think it's a her. Maybe she'll have this Buddha thing going on, sitting in the lap of the bear.
I know. It's like everybody's getting along.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is, again, real crappy mask at the beginning, because who cares? We'll figure it out later. Make sure we've got our composition good before we commit.
Uh-huh.
And then we can maybe puppet warp her to, be sitting in and maybe puppet warp his arm up and over. Look, we're heading
Yeah.
there. Come on,
Mhm.
we're getting there.
Yeah, you'll definitely have to show Puppet Warp just so everybody's
Yeah.
aware of it.
Puppet Warp's awesome. Love it, love it, love it. We need a lemur.
Oh, so far, one Adinda is winning for most silly pun.
Okay, so I'm gonna 54 clothing is asking me what I'm doing. So what I'm doing is I am dragging all the elements that y'all have been given. I stored them in the library because the Adobe library for me is awesome and it's really easy to use. So I drag my assets in, and in fact, I'll just drag some assets in. Let me see what I could do. Let's say, for example, I made a new black, I'm going to spell it right, maybe. Black layer with a lens flare. So I'm going to go ahead and make a black layer with a lens flare. So I'm going to go to Render, Filter, Render, Lens Flare, and I'm going to make a lens flare. Simple as that. And if you put that on screen mode, you've got a lens flare now that you can move anywhere you want. But let's say I haven't decided when I want it, where I want it. So I'm just going to save that out, and you just simply drag it over into your library. And I can come back and get that a whole nother time. So that's what I'm doing. Hope that answers 54's question. And then I'm just blocking out this design right now. So figuring out where I want my elements. I'm not going to worry about color or lighting or anything until I get further along.
Just working on your composition.
Yep. Tighten it down
It's
after that.
already so visually interesting. There's so much going on.
There's going to be a lot to manage on this for sure. 54, did that answer your question? Let me know.
54 says, thank you, Lisa.
Yay, good.
Well, you are welcome.
There you go.
Awesome. Yes, it is Canada's birthday, 150th birthday.
Happy birthday,
Right,
Canada.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. Love Canada. All right, we'll let you work because I know you have to cut that out.
Yep.
I know Colin's doing stuff. He's... so yeah, we will, if you want to...
Let me give up the machine. Let someone else drive for a minute.
And again, this is the contest, basically. WolfBear Ginger Beer is the theme. They're having fun with it. Hashtag Stocketition contest. Oh yeah, by the way, deadline, you guys have 2 weeks. These guys have less than 2 hours. The winners of this competition actually get Creative Cloud, Adobe Stock, which is awesome, iPad Pro. Oh, let's throw an Apple Pencil in there just for fun. And guess what? Your little friend to tell you what to do, the hovering art director. So like all the things is what that means for the winner, for the grand prize winner. And 9 runners up get Creative Cloud and Stock.
I'm totally jealous.
And these guys you guys are totally in the running. I don't know.
If only.
You do have to use all 20 assets, but we're letting them, if you want to enter. But these guys just get to play around. And it looks like we can see your screen, my friend. So let me just switch over to you.
By the way, my favorite comment so far is on there from one AD and a content aware wolf. I like that.
Content
Oh,
werewolf.
nice.
Oh,
It's probably
that's
the best
fantastic.
All right. Oh, the same person that did
That's great.
Impossible. Hey guys, we're doing giveaways, so we could give away some stock credits or a random hovering art director through our highly mathematical machine that picks a winner, which is not just us picking our favorite comments. No,
No.
it's highly mathematical, and we have a bot that picks names at random.
Yeah, what's her name?
I don't know. These guys are moving so fast. They're working faster than the audio can even keep up. So there might be a little lag. I think in YouTube you can actually click in the lower right and change your compression, your viewing settings. You can change that to like 1.5 if you want to, if it seems out of sync for you. So, sorry to interrupt, Colin. You just working away there, huh, buddy?
Just chugging away.
She's just chugging away. So he needs total silence, everybody.
I think I'm gonna go for massive moon this time, just for fun. Make it a little more surrealistic. We'll see. I might
Do you
change my mind
need
later.
help? Do you want to hit that little guy?
It feels too advertisey.
Ugh.
To advertise,
What's
yeah,
that even
absolutely. Yeah. So I don't know if you guys know, but while I was selecting that moon, there was something I did here, which a lot of people don't know. It's kind of like a little tip. So say you wanted to create a selection with the round selection tool. So for beginners, if you hit the space bar, you can move that selection around. Because I remember when I first started in Photoshop, and I was trying to select the circle, when you get it, and then you're like, oh, and then you try it again. So if you hold down the shift, it constrains it to a perfect circle. The space bar will enable you to move it around. And if you hit the Alt or the Option key, it enables you to draw it from the center. But what I did is when I was going over that moon is I let the selection go here, and you can go into Select, and you can choose to transform selection, and you can use free transform on a selection. A lot of people don't know that. And that way you can create a tilted oval. See, like that, like shapes like that.
Did you guys know that?
And
What
you
was
can
that under?
right-click.
Sorry, select, right?
Yeah, select transform selection. And then you can, skew, you can do all these kind of different things on your selections. So it's kind of useful to know. You
did
can
not know
also
that.
just hit, so you could also do it that way. So I find that sometimes I'll get pretty close to my selection and I'll use that transform selection thing. It's kind of cool. It's fun.
Thank you, Christopher, by throwing out other tip of just like Alt dragging a layer would duplicate it.
Yeah, that's a good
Or
tip too. So if we
Command
want lots of
J.
moons, we could, do that. Like,
Somebody asked for a blood moon, but hey,
Oh,
I
we
don't,
could
I
do
don't
a
know how
blood
many
moon.
art directors you want. Like,
blood moon would be easy enough. Just add a hue saturation adjustment layer, and we could go like that. But of course, I'd have to make everything else red, which I'm probably not. Oh, hang on, what did I do? I clicked on something. I think I went to my select and mask workspace. Didn't want to do that. There we go. So yeah, we could do that. I mean, just go here and you could colorize it. And if you want it, here's another tip. When you turn on the adjustment layers, it affects everything underneath. If you just want to affect one layer, hit this little clipping thing here, and that will only affect that layer. If you don't want to go into the panel, just hit the Alt or the Option key and just got that. So basically, you're just creating a clipping mask for your adjustment, which is a really useful thing. So we could do this if we wanted to do a blood moon, that kind of thing, but I don't want to. So
that is pretty bloody.
yeah. But what I am going to do is I feel like I want to add a little bit of something here. I want to add some water. So what I'm doing is, for us, because we're not really entering the contest, we're not allowed to win, so we're allowed to cheat. I've got some extra images here that I've got from Adobe Stock. And in fact, if I wanted to find some, like something like, say, some water, I could type in here, like water, and you can search directly, see here, into Adobe Stock
Wouldn't you even know?
from within Photoshop. And right now, it
Yeah.
shows everything, or I can just constrain it to photos, which is what I'm doing there. And I'm going down, and if I find some water I want to use, like, I don't know, let's find some water I want to use. Like, say this one.
Ooh, pretty.
I could just test it. I could just click and drag it in. And anyone can do this, by the way. And you don't have to buy these images at this point. You can just grab them for free and test them. And it has a watermark on there. But you can go around and you can play around with it. And you're like, okay, let me mask this a little bit. Maybe this is what I want to do. Let me just quickly mask this. Just using the quick select brush, which was a horrible selection. Let me grab the image.
Although it's gotten better, hasn't it?
What's that? No, it was my fault.
Oh,
I was selecting from the mask instead of the image. I just wanted to quickly show how I would do it. So say we did that and we applied a mask just to demonstrate, because I'm actually going to use a different water. But grab my mask, fill it with black, which is Option backspace to fill with the foreground color. So say I was like that, and I was like, you know what, I like this water. Obviously everything's rough right now, like Lisa said, just blocking it out. But I decided, you know what, I want to use this, so I would just go in here and I would just click on License It here. And if I click on it to license it, what it's going to do is it's going to update it. Click OK, and then watch what happens. It will update it right there inside my Layers panel. In the library first, you'll see the little turning wheels means it's loading, and look at that, voila. It did two things. One, it removed the watermark, which is really useful, but even more useful than that, look at this, it converted it to a high-res image.
Boop.
So, and you know what, my mask and everything's, even as horrible a mask as it was, but it stayed there. So that's the cool thing. You can kind of try it on before you buy it. It's kind of useful. So I find that, because, sometimes you get something and you think it's going to work, and it's all
Yeah.
in your mind and it's perfect, right?
You
and
spend
then
all
you
the
drag it in
money,
and you're like,
yeah.
man, these are not the drones we're looking for,
Yeah.
right? You know, the droids were. It's like, yeah, and it just didn't work. So you just try them,
That's
find the
awesome.
one you want, and then go ahead and then license it. You can transform it. You can do a ton of things to it while it's still a comp. So anyway, that's my 2 cents worth for now.
No, I like it. You gotta. I like that's some gorgeous water. It's looking good. Let's see. All right, we're already 25 minutes in. Let's do a giveaway. Should we do a giveaway? Well, fantastic.
I vote for the
Me.
content to werewolf.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, you know what? That was good. I'm with you on that.
I don't know who did that, but it was funny.
One Adanda.
Oh, one addenda.
Impossible is not great. It's like,
Hey, they're
it's
just
a
warming
little,
up.
Little easy, but then the next one, the content of werewolf. That's
All right.
That got me pretty good.
Awesome. So, one addenda, if you're still there, we want to hear a hooray in the chat just to make sure you're still around. Otherwise, nobody's ever going to tell you that you won.
Oh, no.
I don't know.
Oh, no.
But let's just see if you're here. One addenda. There's a little bit of a delay. Boom! Thank you. Guess what do you win? What do you win?
What do you win?
I don't know. Why am I looking at you?
Yeah.
The hovering art director! Oh, yay! Only
90s calls
Wow,
and they
that's
want
a
their
cool
job shows.
prize.
very few in existence. And one addenda, you get one to tell you what to do, but you also don't have to listen to it. So that's awesome. Yeah, tweet. Just let me know. I'm gonna actually. Adobe Creative Cloud is gonna say, basically. Just contact me if you want to claim your prize. I'm logging your name, but just to make sure we have everything all buttoned up. Content aware wolf. Har har.
I hope that makes it
Impossible.
into the next version of Photoshop.
I do content aware Phil, but I always do it on a person and I call him Phil.
Da-da-da.
Dumb jokes. So let's see. So Chuck's working away down there, huh?
Yeah.
Can we share your screen now and
Yeah.
see what we got going on? Can I just hype these guys a little bit too? Like, I don't know, as soon as I don't know if you're, where you guys are at with your stuff. How long it's going to take to switch over. But just so you guys know, Lisa Carney was up first, so she does fantastic. I don't know, you call yourself a finisher, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can check out her work, lisacarney.com. Super awesome. Then we had Colin Smith up there, Photoshop Cafe. I'm typing that in right now. And on all the social medias. You're everywhere, Photoshop Cafe, pretty much.
Yes.
So that'll load in a second. And then we have No Pattern, which is Chuck Anderson on the end here. And then you got his fancy site. And he's up right now, so super cool. Looks...
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's move that over. Oh, good. We are seeing your screen, buddy. So we're given the same assets, and it's fun seeing what you guys are doing with them.
So I'm coming at it from, I guess to back up a little bit, I'm more of a kind of artist, graphic designer, and I work with a lot of photography and kind of collage type elements. So I like to sort of break things down and then put them back together again. And I'm kind of approaching this from more of a graphic angle than like a photography composition. So something that maybe would, be in a magazine and like an editorial illustration. I work with a lot of magazines, and so a lot of times I get like, if I do something with like ESPN magazine, I'll get photos of a bunch of athletes, and then you have to kind of cut them out and reposition them and collage them together. So I'm looking at this from the point of view of like an album cover or a t-shirt graphic, and I like to utilize a lot of the same kind of elements over and over again to try and make something new. So a lot of times you're kind of restricted with the amount of stuff that we've got, and obviously if you had like full access to Adobe Stock and could just get everything, you get a million things. But just having a handful of images here, I'm just trying to get a lot of mileage out of just a handful of images. One thing I'll point out that I did right out of the gate, this isn't a particularly like fancy Photoshop trick, but it's something I do like to do that works sometimes. So the original wolf image that we have, I cut the head out here, was not symmetrical. He was actually like this. So this is the original one, but so I'll kind of show you it side by side. And I really wanted a pretty symmetrical design, or at least I wanted kind of the core of my design to be symmetrical.
That's
And
good
so
thinking.
all I did to get it exact, because it's literally, you can even see the, like over here, there's a darker line. I'll show you what I did for that. So here it is originally, and then I duplicated it, and I just set it to lighten, and then it,
Oh, cool.
so I'll turn it on and off, but you can see it pretty much just made a perfectly symmetrical wolf. It doesn't always work out so clean without having to do many adjustments, and it's not, you know,
He looks really intimidating that way. I don't know what
Yeah.
it is, but
less posing and more
yeah, you can
aggressive.
you can see that he's turning his head to the side.
That was part of the thing. I wanted it to feel aggressive and a little more ominous, and so I kind of darkened it up a little bit and made it kind of like perfectly centered, so it looks a little more intense. And then all these roses up here that I've got going are just from this one rose graphic. I'll pull over from this photo that I'll pull over from the library here, and then I just kind of duplicate it over and over again. For me, it's the technique kind of comes second to the composition and the idea I have in my head, and I can kind of refine things in the end, but I just like to start sort of throwing things, throw paint at the canvas, if you will, and just sort of see what happens and what kind of comes together. So
yeah, no, it's looking good. You're making good use of that rose.
Yeah.
That's looking good.
a lot of mileage out of it. But yeah, so thinking very like graphic and just kind of some of the sort of more random elements, and just playing with color and just giving your eye lots of interesting places to go. One thing I talked about this in the earlier one, but a project that if you want to pull up my site, I use, ironically enough, I guess it doesn't really have anything to do with the type of art here so much as the technical approach, but I use Snapchat and Instagram stories a lot to kind of create art and design compositions out of emojis. Do you want me to pull it up, or?
Yeah, either way. I mean, whatever.
Hey, Juan wants you to put your shoe on your head.
Whose shoe?
because they're not convinced this is
Not convinced
live.
it's live.
How about my phone?
So no, this
I
is
just-
pre-recorded, but we can
Thank you.
we can see into the future and read your comment. So whichever you want to believe is up to you.
Thank you, Fazy B. I'm not sure what your name is, but it's very kind.
Yeah, check out Chuck's works.
Yeah, his work's awesome.
So this is my site. You see all my work at
Yep.
nopattern.com. You can see I work with like a lot of flower elements. So like this piece, I do a lot of stuff with type and
Love it.
and kind of I do a lot of my own photography. So this is all flowers that I've shot myself, and then I kind of arrange. But one project in particular, I thought would be kind of funny to share. That's kind of relevant to what I'm working on today, though, is this these emoji pieces that I do. And I make these entirely within Instagram stories and Snapchat. So it's usually just some kind of flat color background or a really basic, simple background. And then I just start one by one dragging emojis onto it and arranging them into these compositions until I have these really kind of ornate pieces. So like, I don't know how smoothly we're going to get videos, but this one kind of shows, I don't know, maybe this one just kind of shows like a making of, and you can go to my site, in the personal section and click emojis, but and you can kind of see how I build these just one little stem and one little leaf at a time. I got my phone in my hand like all the time. I don't like to really play games on it so much as try and use it as a creative tool. And so this is the kind of stuff that I end up spending a lot of time doing.
It's so cool.
It's kind of like having a sketchbook with you, you know what I mean?
Very
the Lupe
unique.
Fiasco cover. We got someone who's been following my work for at least 10 years then. That's cool.
Yeah, it is a cool
There's an
idea.
album cover I did a long time ago. But yeah, anyway, so I bring this stuff all up just to kind of show you what I'm doing with this, and that is just to use a sort of very finite amount of elements, and get a lot of leverage out of them, even if you don't have a ton of stuff to play with. So, and I kind of like, one thing I was thinking about, like I grew up in the Chicago suburbs, and it was kind of like a bland environment, and so I always had to try and make do with what I had around me, and that wasn't always like an exciting environment. So I'd bring my camera out and try and capture pictures and then just use what I had at my disposal. And so I've always tried to take like fairly mundane things and then just turn them into something entirely new. And that's kind of where doing this type of work, is exciting and fun for me, the process of doing it. So
Yeah, man, you have excellent work. I mean, and your stuff is, I've seen your stuff like over the years, but it's, I don't know, it all still, I don't even know what sort of style you have.
I don't either anymore.
I
I struggle to describe a lot of times like what I call myself. I guess just a visual artist is probably what I prefer the most, because I'm not an illustrator. I'm not just a photographer. I'm kind of, and then that's kind of like factors into when with the name No Pattern. I picked that when I was like 16, 17. So fortunately I still like it, but kind of keeps me open to be able to do whatever I want. So.
That's awesome. No, man, it's looking really cool. So your, by the way, your layers panel.
My layers panel.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, because you could view all of those icons as...
Oh, right, yeah. If I wanted to go into panel options and just do, like, layer bounds and...
Layer bounds.
And just do that, yeah. That'd
So
probably
see
be
how
a
it
little
changed?
easier.
Hopefully everybody can see how it changed it, so you could actually see which rows is, that whole thing.
By the way, one thing, I feel like while we're at it,
Oh, I
what
didn't
camera
know
do
that.
I use in image format for creating your artwork? I use a Sony A7R2. That's my main camera.
A Sony, huh? Pretty happy with it?
Very
That's
happy
awesome.
with it. Yeah, it's an incredible camera. It really is. Yeah.
That's Steppenwolf album. Yours is looking really good. Do you
Thank
mind?
you.
Like, you
I
can
don't mind.
continue to
Yeah.
work, but
Here,
I gotta...
I can stop my screen
yeah.
sharing.
Awesome. So just this video is going to play in the background. You guys could find this. This is our hovering art director as part of that campaign. As you get switched over, you guys I can post this link in the chat and you can watch that at another time, because we don't want to lose you guys, but it's super hilarious, the dialogue. But at the same time, I want to take advantage of, so you can share yours.
You want me to
now.
share? Cool.
Yeah.
Rose had asked about a channel pull. Would you mind? She just
let's do
asked.
it.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
I know channel pull for some people makes them crazy. Hang on. Oh, I should share. Excuse
I've never
me.
even heard that term before.
Oh, sweetheart, you're too young, honey. That's all.
I know. I was like, it's lost on me.
Yeah.
I know it now, but
All right.
oops.
All right. So channel pull. What would I call channel pull? Channel pull for you youngins is using the channels in Photoshop to make your selection for you. So for example, there's two things I used it for. I used it up here on the volcano, and I just used it here to make a water brush. So let me show you the volcano first, yeah?
Sure.
All right. So just for giggles and visibility, I'm going to do it on top. So I'm going to make a black layer. My favorite thing to do. Black layer, and let's just drag the volcano over, and it doesn't really matter where we place it. So here's the idea. I want to mask that out, but I don't want to paint it because that'll be too hard and take too much time. So rather than use select and mask, this is a process that you did before select and mask was available to you. So it's kind of old school. And just for a second, I'm going to get rid of all these channels so I don't confuse you. So what I'm going to do is look at the channels here in Photoshop. There's the blue channel, there's the green channel, and there's the red channel. And I'm going to use that to make my selection. So I have to choose. Do I want a lot of smoke and clouds and fire, or do I want just a wee little bit? So let's just say for giggles, we want just a wee little bit. And I'm going to take the green. Why it's called a channel pull is you pull the channel down to the add a channel icon. So you've pulled a channel. And then Lisa says do levels, Command L. Lisa says do levels. And I'm going to take the levels icons, the triangles, so delta dots here, and tighten up the selection by making it more contrasty, because on a channel, what's white is available and black is not. Okay, so that looks like a decent selection to me. I'm going to say okay. Now I'm going to load this channel, and you can load channels 3 different ways in Photoshop. I'm just going to show you 2. You can either take your cursor, put it over the icon for that channel, and hold the command key and click, and that'll get you your marching ants. Or you can grab the channel by its name and pull it down to the add a selection icon, load selection icon, excuse me. And now I'm going to go back to my layers. I'm going to go back to the layer I want to mask. And I'm going to click on the icon down here at the bottom, which is load selection. and bada bing, there's my volcano fire, and I could go take that and put it wherever I want. If I want it a little beefier, in fact, just for a second, I'm going to turn the old one off so you can see this a little better. All right, let's turn that one off. Go back to the top. Here I am on my volcano. If I want it a little stronger, I can be on the mask and do another levels move, Command L, and just increase the contrast a bit.
So you have that layer mask selected, and you did Command L.
Well, I'm actually on it. I don't want to say selected because I'm not. There's no marching ants.
Nothing's selected.
But I'm actually on it,
Yeah.
as opposed to being on the
It's like a
pixel layer.
subtle distinction.
It is, but it'll make you crazy if you're looking
Yeah.
it up. So that would be being on the pixel layer or the paint layer, and this is being on the mask. And then Command L, Lisa says do levels, and then just add white to it, basically, by increasing the contrast.
Mm-hmm.
But isn't that rockin' cool?
Yeah.
Because in 2 seconds, you can have fire, and you don't have to hand paint it.
Yeah, and it's really like what you're doing is you're pulling that selection out based on the color range.
Yeah, exactly right. Or the tone. Yeah. And
the tone.
when you guys get really into this, you can select your own, you can use like Camera Raw to change your colors just to make a channel. I mean, that's kind of crazy advanced, but yeah, it gets really good.
No, it is. I mean, honestly, I feel like so much of Photoshop, like we could talk about making selections like all day long.
Oh, till the cows come home. Yeah, absolutely.
I like how you have the scene, which this is working out really well. First, when you first look at it, first of all, this is looking awesome.
Why, thank you.
This is looking really awesome. It seems very peaceful. Oh, all the animals are coming together, and then you see a volcano.
Yeah.
So it's kind of.
I should have lava
cool.
coming. Then notice the lava is
like,
coming to the
what's
city,
happening?
and it's going to the city.
Yeah, and the animals are.
Oh, we're gonna die.
There's a whole story being told.
There
here.
is, and the animals are fine. They're like, yeah, peace, take them out. So another, if I can I show one more channel pull thing for a brush?
Yeah, but let's see what the art director has to say about it.
Just trust me. I'm an artist.
It's up to you.
Okay.
Well,
I'm gonna trust you.
basically, I used a channel. Let me just show you the result, and you can tell me if
Okay,
you think
that's
it's
cool.
worth it. I made a brush to make this water. So I'm going to fill this layer with black, and I'm going to paint with white. So see that? That's transparent water, basically. And it's sitting right here. Water on top. See that? It's just water sitting on top. And I made that by going to Adobe Stock. Let's see if I can find where I put that file. Actually, I'll just go ahead and get it again. So do you guys know you can go to File, search Adobe Stock, and it'll launch it? It's very cool. Here we are, and I'm going to call it Water River. Let's see if that shows it up. I apologize, I don't remember what I looked it up at. But basically, you can kind of see all these results you get. I have it in the library already because I already picked it out. I apologize, I didn't save the name.
You're good.
But here it comes. Hang on. Why is it not showing me all my images?
Are you showing all the ones that you have licensed?
I am, but I just want to show all of them. I did license it
Oh
though.
well, you are in the Adobe Live folder. Those are just ones in the Adobe Live.
Right, that's where I put it. But that's all right. Here we'll go. We'll go here. I'm sure I have it here somewhere. And I just made a liar of myself. Anyway, I know. Shh. Let me see if I can find it. Basically, it's like this kind of thing.
Yeah.
That kind of image. And you just
nailed
pull
it.
a channel on it, and you use that as a brush.
So you use photos as a lot of your references, obviously.
Yeah, almost all.
Seems silly to say, but yeah.
Well,
it's still a
Chuck's
good
more of
point.
an illustrator and does a lot of illustrative stuff, and I'm pretty much a photo only kind of gal.
No, that's awesome. We're gonna stay with us. We're actually gonna give away 120 Adobe Stock credits, which is super awesome.
It is
by the
beyond
way.
awesome.
Oh, you're gonna drop some of that stuff. Okay, I know. Colin's doing some things.
Let me hand it over to Colin.
He's got stuff to show. But while you're doing that really fast, and just so we're not
Someone
seeing...
asked a question that probably should be clear. So Adobe Stock can be used as a water filter. I think it's more just that photography can be used to pull elements from and create
Eh,
whatever. It's just that it happened to be a photo of water and it also happened to be stock.
Yeah.
But you can use any photography and make brush samples from that photography. In this case, it was just water.
It's interesting that you're using tools to work on photos, and here you're using a photo as a tool.
Yeah, and I think that back and forth is really important.
Yeah,
It's
that's
really
awesome.
important to not limit yourself.
Just like quick shout out. Are you sharing your screen now? Oh,
Sure am.
oh, how fun! And you could also post things to Adobe Stock as well, like so you can contribute. So that's the thing. Somebody asked about getting rid of a watermark. Well, you purchase it because chances are there could be somebody here, like one of these people, that's actually contributing to Adobe Stock. So be one of the people that contributes.
Well, also removing the watermark, it's still low res.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Boom.
All right, so what I'm doing is I'm actually doing something I don't normally do until the end, but I just figured it would be fun to do it differently this time around, is I'm just tuning up the colors and stuff a little bit in the background, but it also kind of, it's very subtle, but it kind of changes the mood a little bit, see here? And I'm just kind of playing
little
around with
overlay?
that, just to give myself a little, but what I've done is actually just created a colored layer, so I've gone from blue to yellow, and the reason I've done that is because those colors are complementary colors,
And
and then it creates like that little bit of color, something to it. It just adds a little bit more depth to the image. But what I wanted to show, I did show this before, and I do want to show this again, is how to match color on the layers, because this is something people struggle with a lot. See, right now I've created a wolf bear. I know, get it, wolf bear. So there's the bear, and all I did is just
Boom.
basically pop the wolf's head, and if I hit the shift key and hit the mouse, you can see there's the wolf. And what did I do? I just took my Wacom pen with black on the mask and just painted it around. But as you can see, the color kind of doesn't match. You might have noticed it immediately. You might not have noticed it, but now we can see it. We know there's a problem. Is that your phone? That's,
Yeah, I apologize.
that's awesome.
Sorry.
Okay, so this is how we can match the colors. So if we could either take the color from the wolf and add it to the bear and change the color of the bear's body, or we could take the color of the bear's body and put it into the wolf. And I think because it kind of looks like a fat, well-fed wolf right now, let's take a little bit of bear and make it a little bit more berry. Berry?
Berry?
Berry. It's a word.
like it.
Look it in the dictionary. Okay.
Barrow wolf.
So this is how you match the colors. You're just going to choose image adjustments, and this is not available as an adjustment layer. It's only available in the adjust menu. Most of these are available as adjustment layers, and you should always use them as adjustment layers, except for the ones that are not available. And one of them happens to be match color. So if we turn on match color, what we can do is we can take the color from one document to another document, or we can take it from one layer to another layer. So rather than work document-wide, we're going to work within the different layers. So the first thing we need to do is choose our source. And right now I've only got one image open, which you can see is there, is the Adobe Stock image, which is the name of my file. So I've now chosen this file. Now you could choose a different file if you have another one open. Like sometimes people do that for taking sunsets off photos and stuff like that. It's fun. But in this case, we're going to do it layer specific. So right now it's just choosing the same layer, which we can see as wolf. Notice there's another layer underneath called bear, and see all these different layers. If I click on layer, all the layers will be available from the entire layers panel. And of course we can choose merged if you wanted to take the colors from the entire thing. But what we're going to do is we're going to grab the color from the bear. And then when we do that, it's going to take a little second. Now it's going to grab it. Obviously, we need to tweak it. So there's a couple of things we can do. The first thing is we want to fade. If we fade it all the way down, it has no effect. So we just want to kind of creep it in a little bit, just till we start to get a hint of that color. See how that color is just starting to come in
Yeah,
here?
hopefully everybody's catching that.
Yeah.
It's totally matching up.
And then the other thing we can do here is, if it's a little too bright, which it does, we can play around with the luminance. So notice if I push it all the way to this end, it goes real dark. This end, it goes real bright. So what you want to do is just kind of match the luminance or the brightness. So basically what this is hue, saturation, and luminance, really. So basically, this is the brightness. Perfect. So this is the hue, is the fade, is the type of color. Then the amount of color is going to be the color intensity. It's just a saturation. If we turn it up, it's going to get real saturated. And if we turn it down, it's going to become very unsaturated. Well, hang on, let me take a sec. Or desaturated. See that? Basically it goes to black and white. So that's what that is. It's just basically hue, saturation, and brightness. So you can do it all here within the one tool, so you don't have to change out and use different tools. The
So
other thing
hard
that's kind of
otherwise.
a cool little tip, which I haven't done here, and I do have it on a YouTube video I just put up, and you'll see that. Don't look at it now, but look at it later. Hey, Storia. Hey, how you doing, Karen? Good to see you. So I did a tutorial recently on doing this, but using selection. So you can actually take a part of a selection if there's a lot of colors in a layer as well. So if I had just say a selection just in that brown, I could actually just turn it on here and use that selection and get a very precise color. So anyway, that's how you do that.
Somebody does mention that since maybe they should be tinted red since it's a ginger beer.
Oh, that's a good suggestion. Yeah, good idea.
They
Maybe
wanted
we'll
a
do-
ginger bear.
ginger beer.
Ginger beer.
Oh,
Like tinted red.
that's really punny.
Very
That
good.
is that's good times.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah,
Okay, let's do it.
Cecil, hopefully, yeah, that's super awesome. In fact, it's so awesome, I think we should do a giveaway, huh? Why not? Let's do a
Absolutely.
giveaway. Yeah, let's give away 120 credits just like it's nothing, like
You
no big
know it.
deal. Wow.
It's a lot of money.
How about that? All
Who
right.
gets it? Who gets it?
Who gets it? So we are constantly looking for, well, obviously like fun puns as well as hovering art director sayings. So I mean, I have some picked. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick one person, if you don't mind, right now.
Do it.
We're gonna go with. I'm gonna say his name or her name, Jimena, Jimena, Jimena Gallardo Paul. Oh no, that's my name, Paul. That's part of the phrase that he was
Yeah,
talking about. But he did want.
Settle bit of
He's
break.
been contributing a lot, and also said that he wanted the volcano to be more lovable,
That was funny.
which is a good, fun art directory saying that's kind of annoying. So, congratulations, Jimena. Yeah, you, buddy. You win, my friend. Yeah,
So
let's hear
funny.
it. Heck yeah.
And the crowd goes wild.
120 stock credits. Just
It's a lot. That's
Actually,
a lot.
that is a lot.
Right?
What
Krista?
hashtag are
That
we
is a
using
lot.
again?
That's great.
Stocketition contest.
Okay.
Yes. Actually, I'll throw that up really fast if you don't mind. It's right behind me now. But so somebody was asking about the size. You're going to post it to Instagram or Twitter, so it's going to be whatever size they accept. It's going to be reasonable. And let's not
I'm
forget
spelling
grand
it
prize
wrong.
winners. You guys have 2 weeks to work on that. You have the assets in your hand. You're learning some pro tips from the pros, which is super cool. Let's kind of go down the line. What are you guys using for tools? You guys using a Wacom, like Lisa?
Definitely, yeah.
Nice,
Isn't it pretty?
nice size. This is gorgeous.
You don't need a big one though. You can use a small one.
Yeah,
Little one's fine.
Oh,
Oh,
by
yeah.
the way, it's pronounced Wacom.
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 I get it.
Wacom.
I get it.
No, but
I know.
everyone says Wacom or Wacom.
I know, I get
and-
it.
But if everyone says
So-
Wacom, maybe they should just
Surrender.
Accept it.
Well, Wa is Japanese for harmony,
I
and
know.
Com is for computer. So that's why
I
we
did not
call
know
it
this.
But they made it a weird English word that feels like it's
I know.
Wacom.
Well, it
I
is
heard that. I'm like, oh, I can't change it. It'd be like Adobe.
Yeah, no mouse. No mouse.
Adobe. Let's call it Adobe from now on.
Adobe. Well, they do say Adobe in like the Nordics. They say Adobe.
Adobe.
Do they really?
Which is adobable.
Adobable?
It's adorable.
Oh,
Dad, it's late here.
Oh,
it's late.
It's not
Dad.
late. That was, yeah.
So, Chuck, what are you using? You using Wacom as well?
I do. I have this is my travel Wacom. This is a smaller. This is like probably the medium size. It's funny for how big this is. The usable area is only that. I don't know if you can see it, but it's only like that much right there. But this is nice because you can throw it in in like a backpack. The main one I use in my office is it's quite a bit bigger, but it doesn't really ever move.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't use Photoshop without a pen in my hand. I feel
Yeah.
very like I'm working with,
Are you still
hands
sharing?
behind
No,
my
I'm gonna
back when I use a
restart real
mouse.
quick. I'm in some trouble.
Hopefully we can. Oh, this is super cool. So yeah, it looks like we're all using, or all these guys are using Wacoms, or Wacom. Also the what did I bring downstairs? The
Cintiq.
The Cintiq.
That
It's
thing's
also a
crazy.
gorgeous machine. If you could swing it. But I want to see what you're working on, Colin. You got some magic going on here.
right.
And thank you
now.
Whack
everybody
'em.
for joining us.
Whack 'em, whack 'em.
Whack 'em good. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm creating a 3D can, And so maybe I should show you guys how I did that. Yeah, you know what? Why don't I? Let me just delete it, and I'll do it again really quick so you guys can see, because otherwise you might have missed that. WolfBear. So basically what you can do is you can create a layer, or you can grab a layer group. In this case I'm going to do a group because that's got my whole WolfBear. And if you select that layer group and then you go up under the 3D menu, and then you go under New Mesh from Layer, and then you go down to the Mesh presets. These are presets that come with Photoshop, so we can create cones, cubes, cylinders, hats. You guys can read the menu. I don't need to read it all. There's a wine bottle. But
I wonder how
yeah,
late it was. We're like, I'm just gonna the developer.
Right.
Right.
It's late. I'm gonna throw a wine bottle in there. It's gonna be good.
Well,
I don't know,
originally,
it's like a late night thing to do.
well, originally I think the soda probably should have been a beer can, but
I know, right? You're right. 'Cause it's like, okay, we know what you're really going for.
because no one's really using it for a soda can, right? So if you create that,
Alright.
what it does is it puts your as you saw there. Let me just grab my
It's very cool.
thing here.
You can
Put it away.
replay this. Don't freak out. You can replay
And
Yeah.
this.
see, I
It's
can
very
move it
cool.
around, and you'll notice that we've got our texture there is now put on there, and you can see the texture WolfBear copy, and you'll see there's our label material. So here's the cool thing. If I double click this, it works just like a smart object. It's going to open in here, and then literally what I can do now is I can design my label on a flat here. In fact, let me make the bear a little bigger. And I can just design this flat, and then whatever I do is going to be updated. And I don't want to hog all the time, so I'll just do just a couple of quick things to show you. And let's create a golden background, so we go with the art director that said gold. We've got that. I'll throw some type in there. And I wish I could claim this, but someone in the last webinar, live stream, if I can't spell, by the way, suggested WolfBear rather than WolfBear, which I thought was really clever.
Mm-hmm.
Now we'll see. See, I told you I misspelled it. WolfBear. There we go. So if I was to do that, so here's the thing. If I was to hit save, and then I go back to our thing, notice it updates on the can there. So that's what's really kind of cool. So you can do that. You can play around. And then see how it's kind of squished? So if you open the 3D panel, under the 3D panel, under the textures, you'll see there's different things here. We're going to grab the label material, and then under diffuse. So actually, let me just show you what I'm doing. Under the soda can there, you'll see label material. You can see it on and off. I'll just show you. That's the one that's linked to there. So as we update that, it'll update here. And then under materials, there's different types. Diffuse is basically its color. Specular is the highlights. Illumination, it glows. Ambient, blah, blah, blah. So we're going to hit Edit UV Properties. And under UV Properties, because this is actually a UV texture map for those of you who want to nerd out. For the rest of you, it's just an image on a 3D thing. And if
Seen
we
better
change the
days.
size of it, so if we change it to, say, 150, see how we can change the scale of it
That's
and
pretty
make
cool.
the bear
So
so it's
cool.
not
It's
quite
really
so
cool.
fat, because it was a little too fat.
And it's
Yeah.
fast.
He's
It's
had too much
amazingly
Kind of
fast.
like me at Thanksgiving time.
Oh,
What's
no.
cool about this too is it's a nice, fairly simple introduction to 3D if you've never used it before.
Absolutely.
It's in an
Yeah.
environment that you're familiar with, and actually it's kind of what got me kind of kickstarted learning more advanced 3D programs. It's really stoked kind of my interest in it, and I
Yeah.
think that's really important.
Yeah.
And again, you guys can all repeat this again later.
Yeah, absolutely. And in the offset settings, this is how you just kind of move it around. Look at that. So you can just kind of, what's the word? Nudge it, smudge it? I don't know what's the word.
Nudge it? No, who knows?
Nudge it, move it
Sound
around
like you're
anyway.
filming an infomercial. Nudge it,
Right.
smudge it.
Right, it waxes,
it
it
all.
washes, it.
But wait, buy 2 today, and
Yeah.
it's awesome.
And then get a free. Actually, didn't you have a suggestion about more of these 3D objects?
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
can totally dive into that.
Yeah, so
Let me do it now.
sure.
Good, yeah.
Oh yeah, let's do that. All right, fancy, because you just have shown some basic primitives, but I'm actually going to dive into what's called Project Felix. So you'll see it pop up
It's great.
right now. So again, we're talking about 3D for designers. Because have you guys ever opened up a 3D program? I don't know if you guys are using Cinema 4D or
Cinema
anything like
4D,
that.
yeah.
It's if you open up any of those, it gets awfully scary, quite
Quickly.
frankly. But here, what we have is we have Project Felix, which allows you to do 3D compositing, like 2D and 3D compositing, easy, again, sort of for us designers who like, again, I like things easy. Hold on one second. Let me just move this over. Sorry about that. Zoop. Popped up on my screen. So like Colin just said, this is Project Felix. You could download it today. You can see all the assets off to the side. So all these different objects. But know that these also you can actually get them from Adobe Stock as well. So just so everybody's clued in. Adobe Stock. I might want to search on whatever. Bottle. Could be anything. It gives me all those results, but also I can just search for, say, a 3D bottle if I want to. As this loads in, you can see it. I can I can filter this out. Notice that you have access to models, lights, and materials. So you'll see quite a few things pop up. I've already licensed this one, but you have obviously other bottles that you could purchase. I have a couple purchased, so you guys kind of get the idea. I think this is good for graphic designers, just kind of like do a mock-up of what it will look like on a table. So I have access to that. It's going to be in Felix. I probably have it in my library somewhere, and I can search through my libraries. Hardest thing about our job sometimes is just like spelling things correctly to do a search on
fair
them.
enough.
Not easy.
It's like or
spelling.
Absolutely.
we're lucky enough that we name a layer, yet alone name it correctly,
Right.
like, with
Right.
spelling. Here's the bottle that I've pulled down. Actually, I'm going to do this as well.
Spelling's like my one left brain strength, actually.
Oh, really? You really
Show
good
off.
at it?
But you know what? You could, after you're done, you could show how you can look for an image in Adobe Stock by throwing a picture in, so you don't have to spell it. Like an ostrich. I
that's a
can't
good-
spell ostrich, but I can find a picture of an ostrich
ostrich.
and throw it in there.
I like it. So I just put this on a table. I'm going to create a light from the image. So you kind of touched upon it, but for the can, you can adjust the light. You can obviously manipulate the lights here, but this does it for you, by the way. So it just made basically an image-based light. And then I can align the camera to the image as well. This didn't do a whole lot of adjustment because it's actually pretty much spot on. But let's actually pop this out. It's actually rendering. We'll give it a second. That 3D model that I got from Adobe Stock. And there's tons of materials. I can go on and on. I don't want to get too far into this, but I could also render this. This is using V-Ray, so it's super expensive renderer that we put right in here. I might take a second to render that out, but it'll render out as PSD, and we're good to go. But it's making 3D for 2D designers. You guys get the idea. I'm gonna move on because I really like it's coming along awesome. That's fun.
And you what, baby? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm just watching this render. Sweet.
Someone asked about if they can use their own imagery in this competition I saw earlier. I don't know if it got answered, but
Technically they're supposed to use the 20.
And then someone also asked. I think I would probably be the same way, asking all sorts of questions. Said, does it have to be a square as well? I don't know.
It just has to post to social media. So no, we don't say a specific size or anything. So as long as you can post it to that hashtag Stocketition contest, we'll be good. What you got?
Woo!
Oh, should we give away another action figure? Why not? Okay. Let's do that, huh? Just switching over because we are doing giveaways. Not only every hour, but like all the time. So, what would you guys say to this work of art so far if you were a very snobby art director?
Oh dear.
Or not. Actually, you just say something nice. We're basically going to pick somebody who's participating in the chat and going that very scientific method to get this done. And actually, this is who it's going to go to. This person says, I couldn't imagine a better team to promote Adobe Stock. You guys are way ahead. Seeing you work makes me want to install Photoshop and get my hands on it. So that's like obviously just stroking our egos. So we are going to give you, Francisco Matt Kent, we're going to give you the hovering art director. Francisco.
Yay!
I'm an artist.
Great job.
Congratulations,
Trust me. You'll
Francisco.
thank me when we're in Cannes.
Con.
Francisco, say something in the chat so we know you're here, because we want to make sure you hear this so we can contact you. Awesome. All right. That's looking good. Chuck, how's yours? We're moving on down the line.
Sure.
How's yours going?
I'm good. Hang on one second.
And then we'll make sure that screen's being shared. And if you need a second, another thing I'll show is like visual search, but I could do that later. All right.
So this is mine at the moment. So like I said, I'm going with more. Oh, I'm gonna pretend all these really nice comments coming in are for me. Whoa, unbelievable! Congrats. Even though it's because you just gave somebody something. So I'm just kind of bringing in some kind of rough typography here. And like I said, kind of going with this like sort of album cover approach, or more of a graphic kind of thing. I have friends telling me that they're watching me while they're at a party right now, which is pretty.
That's
Oh,
pretty
you know
funny.
they're talking trash about you. Like,
I'm
really?
sure
You
they are.
gonna
I'm
go
be
with that
getting-
color?
I'm gonna be getting lots of screenshots of this, I'm sure.
You're like,
Yeah.
red for roses is so overdone.
You're like, every time you said so and so.
Yeah, it could be a beer drinking
Oh,
game.
is there a beer drinking?
Yeah, there's more
A
than
ginger beer.
screenshots coming.
A ginger beer drinking
beer, of
game,
course.
yeah.
Ginger beer shots.
I feel like I'm not sure in terms of like technique. I'm doing anything that's like.
Well, honestly,
mind-blowing.
it's just fun watching you work, by the
Yeah.
way, so don't... I mean,
Well, that's cool.
we all want to be entertained, but
Yeah.
I'm busy absorbing your design right now.
That's cool.
So.
I appreciate that. Yeah, for me, it's just kind of about composition. I'm pretty simple. I like bright colors, so I tend to have kind of. I've tried over the years to kind of calm the content down a little bit, so that the colors and everything, like the kind of craziness, can breathe a little bit. And
How do you? I have a question for maybe all three of you, but like, you're working on this. Like, how do you know when a piece is like done? Is there?
When this is going to be a really vague answer, but like when any more feels like too much and any less doesn't feel enough, I feel like it's just kind of a gut sort
Yeah.
of thing, I mean, it depends what it's for too. I mean, if it's for stuff that I've done for ad agencies where it's commissioned, the client might dictate really when it's done if it hits all the right notes. You know what I mean? But if you're doing artwork and it's for you, then it's just done when you say it's done, pretty much.
So, and Chuck, real fast, just because maybe people don't know your background, but how did you did you go to art school for this, or how did you?
No, I did not go to college. My last school was high school. It was less of a decision based in like, oh, I don't need school because I can do this career without it. It was more of a financial and kind of just where I was at the time. I just like school is not really like the best option for me. And in kind of the year off that I took between high school and when I was going to be done, that's when I started getting a lot of projects based on a lot of personal work I was doing at the time. I
And
started getting clients, like some really small clients, like club flyers and things like that. Then I started doing some stuff for some small music magazines and building up my portfolio. And then really started getting some bigger clients with like ESPN and McDonald's and Microsoft when I was like 19, 20. And then
how
just
did
things
they
kinda-
contact you, or did you contact them? How'd you do that?
for the bigger clients?
Yeah.
So some of them it was kind of a mix. My story is I like to tell a lot is whenever I speak anywhere, I always say if you're going to take any notes on what I do, this would be it. But I would basically send cold emails, which I know it's nothing new now.
Excuse me.
But, when I started my career, like this is, almost 14 years ago now when I was 18, social media didn't exist yet. And so it was harder to reach out to people and find names. So I basically go to bookstores and get magazines and look up the art director's name and get their name. And then I'd go home and I would guess a bunch of email addresses, like first name, last name combinations.
Yeah.
And send out 20 emails and get 19 error messages back, and one of them went through. And that was actually how I got my first project with ESPN magazine when I was 19 years old and living in my parents' basement still. they wrote back and said, "Don't know how you got my email address, but if you want to work on this college football project, we've got it." So
Yeah.
I try to be very resourceful and make do with what I had, and that was kind of what that was what worked for me at the time.
No, I
And then it
love
just
that.
snowballed. I mean, I started getting projects from all sorts of places that I never would have imagined. So, but yeah, that's kind of.
I love that. I love that story, and it just shows your tenacity. You're like, hey, I want to work for these places. I want to have something in ESPN, and
Yeah.
you're
Well,
always doing stuff for I don't know, Chicago Bulls. Or I don't know what.
Yeah.
You're
That
all over
was
the
another
place.
thing. I love the Chicago Bulls, and I always thought that their Instagram wasn't so good, and so I thought there was no reason it shouldn't be good because they're one of the most iconic sports teams. So 3 years ago, I figured out the director of digital's email address, and I reached out to him and said, "Hey, I think I could help you guys." So I basically went in and did a bunch of Instagram takeovers, a bunch of photography at games, and then went from there. And now I've got a really solid ongoing relationship with them. So it really just has to do with just putting your neck out there, because I don't know if they would have contacted me on their own, but when you want to do something with someone, you just got to kind of throw yourself out there.
Just go for it. Which we appreciate everybody even giving up their free time and joining us today. By the way, because you could be doing anything, so we just appreciate you guys jumping in there and joining us, and maybe even winning something. So to ask your question, how do you win? Basically, we're looking. Feel free to be an art director. Let us know what you think of this work. We do like kind comments, just like any other human.
Yes.
But if you want to get funny with having a fun hovering art director saying that hovering art director would say, then post that in the chat, and that's basically how you could win. 120 credits. Maybe the hovering art director. He doesn't actually hover, but you get the idea. Maybe version 2.0.
Think
Two
bigger,
opposing.
but keep it simple.
Ooh.
Just trust me.
Oh my
I'm an
God.
artist.
Just trust me, I'm an artist. If you have to tell somebody to trust you, I
Yeah.
don't know. That's like a red flag.
Oh, not good.
Oh, how you doing?
Good. I apologize for the coughing.
Right. Okay.
You know,
Still alive. That's good.
there you go. So far.
All right, cool. I'll give you a second to kind of collect that stuff and just point out one thing really fast. Everything's looking really good here, and it's fun to see, by the way.
I like how different all our pieces are.
I know, right?
It's fun.
It is pretty cool. I know Colin is doing some little underwater action. I just wanted to point out really quick as I share my screen. Here I am on Adobe Stock, by the way. So again, I can search for 3D and all that fun stuff. Oh yeah, by the way, guess what? 4K videos. Oh, how much content? Like 75 million images. I don't know. Do you need more? I don't know. Maybe. Whatever, right? And there's more things coming that they won't let me talk about, but I feel like saying them, but the boss is in the room and she's like staring at me. She's giving me the meanest look right now. But we have some more exciting things coming. What I did want to show you is just like, I'm just going to do a visual search, so you could do this with Google Images. You could do this as well with any image you just drag to your desktop, right? From your desktop to the browser, and it will do a visual search, okay? And I think this is a good way if you want to contribute. Somebody asked, you get paid for what gets accepted based on, obviously, the usage, right? So it's like, you're not just giving stuff for free. You're going to go out, hopefully shoot some content, find out if there's related images out there, and if there's a hole that's missing, or if it's a popular item. Not that we need, I don't know if we need more kittens, but you get the
Kittens,
What's that?
yes.
That
More
splash, it
kittens!
just fitted perfectly.
Oh,
They test well.
uh-oh.
The kittens probably do test well.
Hey, you might want to switch your screen.
Someone's
Oh yeah,
not
let's
sure.
have you you
Alright.
share. Do you mind?
I don't mind at all.
So that's visual search, super easy, guys. Make it again, but better. Thanks, AD, art director.
So I wanted to talk about that question when people said, how do you know when you're done? You know what I like to do when you have the time? Is actually to put your piece up in another room and walk away, like print it out and stick it up on the wall, and then come back and look at it, because you'll see stuff later and go, what the hell was I thinking? Or, oh, it's really missing this. And then I know when I was in art school, so I did go to college. I went to art school for it, and everyone's
I'm
got
all
it.
for it, by the way.
Yeah.
That's my disclaimer. I don't
don't
ever
just
drop
discourage.
out.
I'm never like, I didn't go to school, and you shouldn't either.
Yeah. Well, everyone's got a different path, which is cool, right? And so I know what I would do is I would take my piece and then paste it upside down in the hallway. And then you see composition a little differently that way.
Yeah.
So
You
it's
do.
kind of
I
cool.
know
Yeah.
a lot of people that do digital painting working in Photoshop. They'll flip it.
Yep.
They'll do a horizontal flip just to make sure you just see it from a different perspective.
Yeah, and you have balance and whatnot. Yeah.
And that's the same that goes for, like Stephen King talks about, the way to write. You should write for a month, write your story, put it away for another month, come back to it.
Yeah.
And that's basically the same
Yeah.
concept.
I just wish we had that in a work environment.
I know.
But generally, you don't get to hurry up, finish it, it's due today. Because I'll look, when I do demos, and I'll look at stuff on my website, and I'm like, oh, I really should have done a better job on that. But it's, you never have time to go back.
That's one thing he's probably not going to say. Hey, go ahead, take a nap and come
Yeah,
back to
right?
your work.
Right?
He's probably not going to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, take your time.
I will tell you, though, I had a job once where I was trying to draw hair. Hi, Lori Bloom. I'll just give you a shout out for that one. And I was off. I just couldn't do it. And I was struggling, and it was hours, and it wasn't happening. And I said, you know what? I'm not on. I'm sorry. I'm going home. And I came back the next morning, and I did it in 10 minutes. 10 minutes. It was done. So sometimes you got to give yourself a break when it's not flying. Or you're coughing on a live stream, because that's always really nice.
Right? Cue the cough as
Yeah.
soon as we're live.
So I'm just darkening up my lemur right now, and I'm just putting a curve on it. And I don't know if you guys know this, but on curves and whatnot, you can put it on the mode called multiply. Just change the mode. And do you see how that automatically darkened it down? And then I can put a black mask on it and paint it in just to kind of indicate a shadow. And what's nice is you don't get any color contamination when you do that. It won't shift the color. So you stick within your original.
You want what the color?
And you're on
It won't shift the color. You won't get color contamination. You know when you do a curve?
That's
Sorry?
swell.
Yeah, and you're
That's
painting.
really swell.
You're
I'm
painting
painting.
on that mask. Okay.
Yeah. So it's just a really nice trick. You can do it on the opposite way, lightning also. So effectively, it's as if you put the layer on top of itself, and you're masking that way. So what's nice is, again, there's no color contamination. I don't have to figure out the curve, but it's a nice little shadow to make it look like he's backlit.
So good.
Just a curve. I didn't do anything to curve.
Non-destructive.
Non-destructive, and if you open up the curve, look, the curve's right here. There's nothing to it. It's a straight up curve.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's a little trick.
Oh, somebody does say they would love to even see this on a shirt. You know how they have maybe even the full sublimation shirts, but that.
Oh,
could be,
yeah,
this could
full
be on
sublimation.
I
That
can
could-
totally see this on a shirt.
See, well, hey, I think it's going to be on Instagram, and you can pull it off
maybe.
and put it on a T-shirt. There you go. It could happen.
How many layers are too many?
No.
Oh, sweet Jesus! I saw a
Zillion.
file the other day. I kid you not. The curve layer was curve number 1083.
What?
Dude,
crazy. Yeah.
merge. That's all I got to say. At some point,
Wait,
merge.
that was your file?
No, it was a
Somebody
file given
else's?
to us. I'm not going to say who it was, 'cause I'll get
How
in
many is the
trouble.
most? I don't know if that's really a bragging thing, because it's like, yeah, consolidate.
I don't
Yeah.
know though. Whatever works for you. I mean, if you need 1,000 layers and it's doing it for you. I mean, you should see this guy's
you-
email. You should go see
do you
this
know-
guy's email somehow.
Here's
Man, it makes it worse. 40 billion unread emails.
Well, that's
A
what
little,
layer groups are
That's
for.
really
You,
funny.
We'll
you know what?
show
You
a
need to
little
put them in
bit.
layer groups.
Yeah.
Not a big
Right down
deal.
there, if
Yeah.
you
How many
click,
emails do I have?
you know, it'll-
23.
Oh
on
yeah,
the flag.
to show
I'm
layer
imagining.
count.
I wish I could get that many
me move
followers on
this up.
Instagram.
Yeah, so gang, you can on the bottom of your file look at where you have document size or Adobe Drive or Scratch Disk or Color Space. You can click on layer count if you like. Mm-hmm. But as you say, whatever floats your boat. I think it matters if you're working with other people though.
Yes, I
Yeah.
agree.
So
with that.
my files always go to somebody else. It's a
Yeah,
rare
that's
day.
probably why I answered the way I did, because I'm like, well, what's it matter?
What do you
Because
care?
The layers stop and end with me usually, but as soon as you got someone else to have to manage it, you should probably name your layers,
Yeah.
put some color, at
Unless
least
you
some
wanna
like
make
some
enemies.
color labels on them, things like that. Yeah.
And in navigating your layers, I've seen you guys. Is it control click on the if you?
Yeah. So
Or-
excuse me. Sorry. I always get this wrong.
You might not have the right tool
No.
selected.
I'm using Illustrator, Paul. If you need to do a little.
Oh,
maybe
that was
we'll-
mean.
Um,
My
do you need the your selection tool or your
Yeah, I don't know why it's not working.
move tool selected? Maybe.
I'm just stuck in something. Here we go. Okay, so this is an argument for labeling your layers. So I'm holding the control and the command key down on a Mac. I don't know what it is for PC. Sorry. And because I label all my layers, I can easily navigate to whichever layer I want.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of you guys do it.
So if y'all call it layer 1 or layer 0, you're not going to be able to manage that real easily, I don't think. So,
Cool.
yep.
Let's jump over. I know. Well, Chuck was in Illustrator. I know Colin's like, I don't know. He almost has his. It's like he's almost underwater here by what he's working on.
Well, let me
So
get out of this
bad.
screen. Excuse me.
All right, here we go. And so I've just been putting this can underwater. Yeah, I just love doing stuff. This is the fun stuff to me, when I'm working in Photoshop. It's like positioning stuff and scaling it and cutting it out. It's all important, but like adding the effects is the part I enjoy. And so basically, what
Looks
am I
great.
doing here? I just like drop the can in here, and then I've actually been doing this with brushes. So if I turn them all off,
So cool.
and that
Yeah,
was an
it's beautiful.
image. I actually masked out an image here. I'll show you. I cheated. See that? There was an image there of someone underwater. Just kind of masked that, put it behind it, let a little fizz happen. Little splash here, little splash there. Here a splash, there a splash. Okay, I'll stop there. All right, so basically what I did is I've just got the brush tool, and I've just got these brushes that I made earlier on. Just little bubble brushes, and you're just kind of going in, painting them, moving them around, positioning them, but you're thinking too, like how would the water actually wrap around this? I probably got a little carried away with this, but I don't know, a little drama never went astray, right? So basically, should I talk about how I make the brushes?
Yeah, sure.
Can I show them how I make the brushes? Oops, I did something there. Yep.
And you don't have to necessarily make one.
No, I won't make one, but
Fundamentals.
say for example, you're in here and you'd open up an image like this. This is how I would make a brush. And then you would just kind of isolate a selection. And so to make a brush, you just go around there. Maybe I want to make a fizz brush. You just basically go around there and you just choose Edit, Define Brush Preset, and you can create the brush. But there's a better way of doing it, is if we go around here, and let me just copy that to a new layer. One thing that's important is to go into levels, and you really want to crunch it. You want to push up the contrast really hard, because the brush works between the lights and the darks. So if I was to do that now, and then I choose the Edit, Make Brush, wherever it is there, my mind has gone complete blank. Edit, where are we? Brush, define brush preset. Okay, it's not showing up. What did I do? I didn't make a selection. Sorry, make a selection. Now we define our brush preset, and then we just basically get the brush. Now, in the real world, I soften those edges and all that kind of stuff to make it usable, which is what I'm doing in here. So,
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
That is good. And that's often, I know, Lisa, you make brushes too, but
Yeah.
definitely for something that you're going to be using more of. And that water is looking fantastic all the way around,
Yeah.
Colin.
thanks. And there's still some things I'm going to do. Actually, I'll show you a little trick here. I want to bring a little emphasis to this area. So this is something I'm going to be doing a lot more later, but I may as well show you guys a little bit right now what I would do. So I'm going to go to about here, create a new layer. And then I'm just going to grab a brush. And it's amazing, like I use brushes a lot, in case you haven't figured. A lot of, the best technique, it's funny because, people are always looking for an effect, and I love effects, but sometimes the best effect is to just paint something.
Yeah.
And so I'm just going to create a brush, and I'm going to drop this down to say like maybe 20%. And if I put this into, I don't know, like maybe overlay, and then just start kind of painting underneath, see how I can start to paint the light and emphasize the water here a little bit more. Just kind of dabbing with that. And it doesn't seem like I'm doing a lot, but then when you turn it off here, see how it starts to have a big difference there? See, you didn't notice that when I was doing it a little bit at a time. So that's one of the things I'll do a lot, and start to kind of define where people are going to look in the image, because generally their eyes are drawn to the brighter part of the image and not to the darker parts.
That's looking so good.
Thanks.
I know I keep saying that, but
It's true.
it's true. So they do want you to make it taste good. That's one art director.
Make the water more wet. That's a
Hey,
good one.
Yeah.
make it fizz. Make it taste good. Make the water more wet.
Might be a little more weird. That's a good
Kevin
one.
Schneider, we're going to give him an art director. Can we do that? Kevin Schneider, you're hilarious, buddy. Congratulations, you get a hovering art director just because you're clever. And
The 90s
maybe
called and they want their drop shadows back.
Ooh, the 90s called they want their drop shadows back.
Ouch.
Ooh.
Congratulations, Kevin! Only so many in existence.
Okay, let's
He's
see.
also the
This
one that
is fun.
said, make it taste good.
Yeah.
That's
Give
awesome.
away some credits.
Oh, let's give
My
away some
favorite thing
credits.
ever is the credits.
I mean, 120 is no joke. I mean, that's like,
No, it's
awesome.
crazy, no joke.
Does that sound good? Should we give some away? Yay! Do you guys want some Adobe Stock credits so you could be like a Colin or Chuck or Lisa or like a you, whoever you are?
Aw. Don't ever change.
All right, we're going to pick someone based on comments from chat. It's very technical how we do this, by the way. I'm going to run the algorithm. I already have somebody in mind, by the way. Because, again, we just really appreciate you guys. If that's all right, I'd like to give it to, if he or she is still there, a fun name nonetheless, but Cheesy Cat has Adobe Sketch to point out that you could actually use Stock. You could use those images in Sketch, by the way, and like draw over things. It's super cool. So like this works on mobile is what I'm saying. And also Cheesy Cat said, I don't think I'll ever be that good. And we want to say, you know what? You are going to be that good. You actually, no. You might even be better. And that's what we're hoping for you. That's why
That's
we're giving
great.
120 credits to Cheesy Cat. Just say hooray in the chat, and we'll give that to you. Cheesy Cat. Cheesy Cat. Reminds me of another song. All right, we got.
You're funny.
We got Bubbles. Oh, you're working in Illustrator over there, Chuck? Can I see?
Yeah, sure.
Chuck,
So again, just to remind you guys, we have the hovering art director Stocketition. If I didn't call it your name, you didn't win. You have a chance to win even more. Grand prize is going to be awesome. And yeah, cool. Grand prize. It's all the goodies. Creative Cloud, Adobe Stock.
Best night
Apple
ever
Pencil.
in Germany. I love this.
Best
See,
night
this is
ever.
good.
Guys, we're just trying to make this fun for you. Oh, is it not?
I don't have the option to share right now. So I don't know if there's-
Oh, make sure. Try it again if you don't mind. Can you go back and maybe close
Yeah,
it or
let's try it.
something?
I feel like we need like background elevator music during these
Yeah.
little
Da,
lulls.
da,
There is
da,
that.
da,
There actually
da.
is. There's music, guys.
Oh,
Oh, here we go, Chuck. Sorry. Let me make you a host. And yes, practice does make perfect. That's for Cheesy Cat. Get the pun? Perfect. Oh, road. It still makes me laugh, but I have the humor of an 8th grader.
So I
Dope.
just started kind of making some kind of symbols and kind of graphic elements that I'm sort of going to start arranging.
That's really fun.
But really kind of starting with a very basic technique in Illustrator that is really super, super helpful. So like this, I wanted to make a tooth, right? So like I'm just kind of thinking WolfBear and, you know, so just kind of these different elements that are kind of relevant to the graphic here. So, so to make something like a shape like that, I'm just going to show you what happens when you, and I'm in Illustrator here, by the way, just in case that wasn't clear. But so if you make a circle and then you take a square, the way that you used to have to, if I wanted to kind of make like a Pac-Man shape and basically do like a little pie chart thing, I used to have to select both of these, you know, go into Pathfinder, choose the divide option, ungroup them, and then I've had these separate sections. I know this is not a Illustrator thing, but
Ooh, did you just chop that? Sorry, I missed it.
So this is so you used to have to select these shapes and then hit divide right here, the Pathfinder divide, and then ungroup, and then you would have these separate pieces, which is great, but there's a much easier way to do it now. So you can basically have two separate shapes. So I'll take this, oh, I gotta undo a little further. So here we have a circle. Now I'm going to draw a square I'm just going to overlap it. And then all you have to do is select 2 shapes. And then you're going to go to this tool right here. It's called the Shape Builder tool. And this is a fairly...
Maybe you can make one a different color. I don't know if people can tell. Or not. It's probably fine.
Well, it kind of doesn't matter for what I'm going to do here, but just for the sake of it, sure. So I'll select the circle and the square, and then you can go to this tool right here. It's called the Shape Builder tool. It looks like 2... I can zoom in on my screen here. Is that going to show up? Oh, that's only my monitor.
It looks like two circles.
Yeah, you just gave me an art director quote. He said, "Make one green, make the other one a
Yeah.
different color." So this, but
Think bigger, but keep it simple.
but it's 2 circles, and then all you
And
have to
then,
do is go over here, and if you want to combine these, you just as they're selected, you can. So you're gonna hover over it, and you're gonna get this kind of mesh shape. You can just drag. I'm literally clicking and dragging a line, and now I let go, and it turns it into a single shape.
Nice.
And then if you want to break it apart, what you can do is hold down Alt while that tool's selected, and then drag it over, and then, oh, sorry, I need to select these first. So select them both, and now it recognizes the overlap, and so as you hold down Alt and drag it over, just this, and then let it go, now I have this, now I have this
Subtract it.
shape, and I didn't have to go through all the steps of,
I did not know.
ungrouping it and all that stuff. Another really nice thing that I have really found really helpful, and so I used it for this like tooth shape over here, is being able to very easily round edges. So now you can just select an image, a graphic, a vector shape in Illustrator, and you hit, on my setup at least, it's A, which is the white direct selection tool up here. Now you're going to see these tiny little handles. I'm not sure if you can see them in the video here, but each corner has a very little circle. It actually, here, I'll draw you what it looks like really quick. It basically looks like a little target, and it's blue. A tiny little handle. So you'll be looking for something that basically looks like that, and you hit the direct selection tool, and then you just grab it, and you can round the edges. So I'll round this one down like that.
Wow.
That's awesome.
And that's
That is
super
awesome.
helpful because you can really kind of customize things in ways that you kind of couldn't before quite as easily, or just pick one corner. Now if I want to, adjust this, I can do this. Now I've got like
yeah,
a
you can go
little,
the
That's
other
great.
way.
Yeah.
and it's really kind of amazing, like the different, and you can put it back too. So if I want to grab this handle right here and just make that middle part like that, I could do that too.
And it looks like when
Does
you
it?
had one of them selected in the options bar, it gave you, like if you wanted to be really specific on the curvature, the corner radius.
Oh yeah, you can adjust that too, right?
So yeah, corner, it says 0 inches up in the options bar
Yeah,
at the
exactly.
top.
So if you wanted to make it super precise, or make sure, like for example, so I just made that 0.04. If I want this to also be 0.04, I can do that. And obviously it's going to be different. Wait, was that 0.4? Oh, sorry, it's 0.4, not 0.04. 0.4,
Click on.
and then also 0.4.
Oh, sweet.
And so now they all have the same, perimeter. Anyways, that's how I made this shape, and I just think it's something that's really a helpful thing in building
Yeah.
stuff. It's kind of a fun way to affect typefaces as well. So like if you,
So Jarek is asking again, how did you get that little dot? Just direct selection tool, yeah.
it's the white arrow. So it's just the you pick right up here on your menu bar. There's a black arrow, which is selection tool, and then there's a white arrow, which is the direct selection tool. So this is the difference between the two. So I'll take this word here. I'm going to outline it. Now, right now it's grouped. So if I click this thing with the regular cursor, it's going to just grab the whole thing. If I choose the white arrow, I can just grab the O, but it's still grouped until I ungroup it, and now I can do it with each individual one.
Yeah, totally. There's so many things in Illustrator we
Yeah.
could talk about.
Um,
They're saying you rock. Fea's like, you rock. Hashtag Photoshop guru. Felicia says you're awesome. Loves what you do.
the
So
noise
just
of the pen
don't let
hitting
it
the
go to your
Wacom
head.
is kind of music. Yeah, after a while you get used to all the different clicking and tapping, but yeah. So anyways, just kind of like a helpful, fun fun little thing. And then you can even use the shape builder with just stuff that you draw. So if you wanted to just use the brush and do something like this, these would normally be two shapes, but you can, oh wait, I need to outline those first. So
outlined it.
if I have two shapes here, basically just these kind of two like blobs. There's also a blob tool, which is basically does this too. Actually, we could just
I love
play
they
with
call it the
that.
blob tool.
I know.
I just have to remember where that blob brush. This is fun, actually. I like the blob brush a lot. So as long as you have if you can't find these buttons, you probably don't have the latest version installed. So that's helpful to keep in mind. But there's this new tool called the blob brush, and it basically allows you to paint and have it immediately outlines it instead of keeping it like a single path.
Yeah.
So
it's like a
I do this,
fill.
and now this is a full outlined shape. And then you can do that, and these are separate, or it'll just actually blend it together. And that's kind of nice too. And there's the introduction to it, the shape.
I wonder, I mean, you guys are using your Wacom tablets. Can you control the thickness of that stroke?
So you could, of
based on
course.
pressure?
Yep, could do different pressures. And you just, for that, you just got to go in to your, whatever brush you've got selected. Well, I got a weird one selected. So in here, in this dialog, you can choose for like calligraphic brushes. You can choose size. Right now it's set to random. You just choose pressure. And then you can go in and, depending on the, obviously something is not working here
Yeah, so
Oh, there
typically... Whoa!
What is going on?
Oh, I think you
think
might
I
have
just
had
drew
one
like an enormous
selected
thing.
maybe
Yep, you're right.
and cranked it up. So I think Wacom,
biggest
in
brush
terms
ever.
of, people are asking about tablets still as well. I think these guys are all using Wacom, as I'm saying correctly. Is that right, Colin?
Wacom.
I thought it was your accent that was throwing me off the whole time. Apparently I've been saying the word wrong.
That's so great.
That's so good.
But
Yeah.
honestly, like,
But
you can find
size
some
doesn't
affordable
matter.
ones
Yeah.
there.
Just
was
get
that?
one. If you can only afford a little one, get a little one. Whatever it takes.
You can just go to Best Buy and grab them, yeah.
And we have probably 3 different sizes up here. So whatever works for you. Oh, what do you guys think of AstroPad for iPad?
Never heard of it.
Yeah, so AstroPad will mimic your screen on an iPad and also gives you the controls like you have on a Wacom on the side.
Oh, interesting.
So it's pretty cool. Duet does the same thing.
I have Duet.
I noticed a little bit of a lag, but I think if you, again, you're hardwired and connected, just, it was like a year ago last time I tested it personally. All right, let's move on, guys, huh? Got
Yay.
some fun things going on. Just like making everything look so easy.
Oh, I forgot I'm
make it look
still
so
on
easy.
the thing there.
You forgot you were making something?
I forgot I was still on the
Oh,
screen.
look! Are you hypnotizing us now?
It's also another fun one to mess around with. This
I
is like
love it.
when people have never used Illustrator before. Like sometimes it's really overwhelming to think about a program that you don't use, and it's
Yeah.
helpful to just find one fun, easy thing that you can do and just kind of revert back to and just play around with. And usually, like the blend tool is just it's really fun, and you can just basically take 2 shapes and blend them together. And if you double click on a shape, you can alter it. So I could make this circle bigger and it would change the entire thing, or I could go up to Effect here. And I could do like distort and do a zigzag on it, and then watch like so.
Oh,
Oh, I did too much.
that's fun.
It is fun.
Oh, sometimes you just get a little overzealous, and now I'm. There we go.
But it looks so good. I don't know if, it's a cool like mandala look.
Yeah,
I dig
and then
it.
you can so I have these set to these outlines set as these gradients, and you can kind of change. You could reverse the gradient and have the color be different, have it be yellow.
And that's awesome. And that's super cool. I don't know if you could kind of move that one to the side, and I'm sorry, I totally
Yeah.
feel like I'm like art directing.
No, whatever, it's fine.
Just kind of show them just from the beginning, sort of
What I
shape,
just
shape, blend.
The blend tool?
Yeah, just show them the
basically how did
basic.
I get to this point
Yeah,
right here?
exactly.
Sure.
Just so everybody's around, because it's like so easy.
Right. So
It
and
makes
it
you
is
feel
easy.
so
It's a matter
powerful.
of just like once you kind of figure it out, you get the hang of it. So you can do it with any shape, but for the sake of I'm just kind of demonstrating this here. I'm going to choose ellipse and hold down Shift and drag. I'm going to draw a circle, and now I'm going to duplicate that. I'm just going to copy and paste it onto itself. Make it bigger. I'm going to center these two. This kind of is assuming you know a little bit of Illustrator, and I'm kind of rushing through it. But so up here is like our alignment. So horizontal center, vertical center, get them together. And you can change the stroke width and make them the same if you want. So I'll do that here, make them the same. So I'm going to scale this out. So basically what we have here is two objects that I'm going to choose an option called blend, and it's going to make one element blend into into the other element. Actually, to show you a really good example, I can do it with a square as well. So if I put a square around a circle, and you want to know what happens when a square blends into a circle, you go from object down to blend, and then you can do blend options, and then I choose specified steps, and let's say I need to blend this first, so command option B, and then you go into your blend options, preview, steps, and then let's do 15. Or you could do 25 or 35 or whatever you want, and you get these really nice kind of interesting patterns, obviously. And the more you do it, the more dense, the higher the line count, the more dense it gets. So that's basically what happens. But what you can do is, instead of having this just a black outline, for example, you could fill this in, say, with red, and then, oops. Oh, that's because the square is on top. So, but check this out. So if you double click a shape, you isolate it, and then you can just edit that. And now if I move this circle, it's going to move because it's basically it's blending these things.
This is great.
See that one?
Yeah.
Even that comment.
Yeah. Groovy.
So is that like so easy? Okay, so quiz question. If anybody knows this, tell me, when did Adobe introduce the blend tool in Illustrator?
Ooh.
It is the anamorph effect. This one Adanda guy is definitely tracking with me. I was like, this is the anamorph of Illustrator effect. It's just.
When was this introduced in Illustrator, the blend tool? First one to answer.
Ooh.
I have no idea.
Can you hear the sound of Google? You can hear it, can't you? I can hear it from here.
It's a tough Googler.
It is a
It's
good
hard
one.
I don't know. In the meantime, I'm going to make this a gradient instead. And you can
try to
see-
work it into your design as I play art director.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just make it all better,
Leave
but
me alone,
different
Paul.
and kind of the same.
Make it a little more designery, you know.
Make it more. Can you
Make it pop.
As I'm going to read some of these comments, and can you make the square more round, or can you make the circle less
God.
round?
I can, and I will.
So awesome.
Oh,
What?
you guys are going into yours. I'm saying which Illustrator version, by the way. Which Illustrator version? Talking Illustrator.
You can just make one round. So there, I'll do it. Look.
1856.
1856.
Not quite.
Remember that program that was I can't remember what it was called, but it was Adobe something, and it
Freehand?
was no. It was literally just meant for live tracing.
Oh,
that's all it did.
For what?
Yeah, man. What
It
was
was
Outline? Adobe Outline.
Streamline.
Streamline.
Streamline,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you could just put in a photo, and you could just live trace it, and that was all it did. It was literally the extent of the program.
You guys need to go back further in time. Still
That was
looking for an answer.
around the time of Fontographer.
All right, so we need to move on. So we need to get some giveaways done. I want to see your works of art. Who wants to go? Who wants to be next here? Should we just move on down the line? Some
Yeah.
more? This is looking so good.
It's fun.
I'll keep an eye out for the answer, but if you want to stop sharing.
Nope. No. Okay.
No.
These have way too much fun here. Way too much.
It's Illustrator blank. Just let me know. Remind you of the competition. All right, Jerry has it. Illustrator 88. Is that right? 88? I'm second guessing myself.
That was a long time ago. Yeah.
Was that 1988?
88.
No, I don't think so.
Version 1. We're looking for the Illustrator name. So it's Illustrator 88. Congratulations, Jerry. You win. Can you believe it? It was only the second version of Illustrator had the blend tool, guys.
Yep.
I have it on my machine. I can like show it in an emulator. And it was only the
impressive.
second version. That
Emulator.
blows me away.
That's
So
impressive.
congratulations, buddy.
What does he win?
You win the 120 credits because we already gave away the hovering art director and we're alternating. Congratulations, Jerry.
Bragging
120
rights.
credits. Boom.
And a 5-hour one-on-one lesson with Paul.
That's right. Paul's
Yeah,
gonna
on
show
Skype.
Is that happening?
Yeah.
20,000.
Let's share your screen. It's
Okay.
looking dope.
It's getting towards the end here. I'm just starting to say stuff.
You win a car.
All right. Jerry Bernard. All right. Looks like. Boom.
All right. Come on, my
We
friend.
might have. We have about 15 minutes, so it's probably like one more time through, 5 minutes each or something.
Yeah. So I'm feeling like I'm getting close to something on camera left, and just wanted to see about maybe antiquing it, maybe putting it into some textures. So I'm just experimenting at this point. I do have some kind of finishing things I've done to this one, some effects. And again, I'm just playing around here. It's all fun and games. So I added a vignette on the outside. So it's just a curve that darkens. Just to kind of bring the eye in a little bit. It's got a basic mask. Nothing too exciting. And then I'm kind of in this blurry phase right now. Maybe it's because I can't see. I don't know. So
Let me just clean your
I
glasses.
know, right? I don't know. I didn't do it today. I'm forever cleaning these things. I'm kind of into a blur. So I did a general box blur. But here's what I do, because I like to work around a piece, and I'm not always done. So what I did is I made a smart object. So how I did that is I copied Command-Option-Shift-E, Command-Option-Shift-E on a Mac. So it basically copies everything from below and puts it on a top layer. And then I make that a smart object, convert to smart object, and then I add a filter, whatever I'm choosing to add. And in this case, I chose to do a box blur at 32. And why I do that is I can go back and change this again. So if I make an edit, we put a different wolf in or a different moose, I can redo this whole effect, because with my business, I've always answered to somebody else. So that's how I make the base layer. And on this case, I put a channel pull, because I am the channel queen, and I use that to mask out the effect. So that's the full blur effect, and then that's it with a channel pull to just block out some of it. And then I did a levels move to darken down some of the how should I phrase? I take some of the blacks out. So if you see this black slider on the levels, if you take some of the blacks out, it can get the eye focused on the inside of that, because it's desaturating it basically. And then I put a little contrast move on top, again with the ubiquitous channel pull, because I like channel pulls. And so that's before and that's after, and I think it just kind of tightens it up a little bit. It's a little crunchy on the HD screen, but on the monitor it's not quite so crunchy. Cool. And then
Yeah.
again, just playing with some textures and effects on the camera right side.
It's looking so good.
Yeah, I mean
And
different.
these are two entirely different looks. Obviously,
Right.
same content, and
Right.
pulling in that from your. So again, that could be a stock asset that is in your library that you kind of reuse. Because I
Yeah.
saw this texture earlier, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
there's Josh Davis.
hi
He's
Josh.
here. You guys know Josh,
No,
right?
it just you seem to like him so.
Oh,
Can
well,
you make a Chuck not handsome filter? I don't know.
Oh,
We don't have
impossible.
that sort of technology.
Impossible.
There's no way.
Yeah,
oh,
we
you
don't
guys
have the
must know
ugly
Josh.
filter.
Josh, you've
Yeah.
spoken at Adobe Max probably a bunch of times.
Oh,
right?
he's the man. Good to have you here, buddy.
So anywho, it's you know what you were talking about having stuff in your library. I don't think I mentioned it in this feed that I keep a in my library a box of tricks. I mentioned it in the earlier feed too, and what that is, it's elements that I like to use often, like these textures and whatnot, and it's just a way of easily having access to them. So there you go.
That's awesome. All right, let's.
Well, thank you.
Colin, we're gonna make sure he's been busy.
Colin's been
Well,
very
thank you
busy.
so much, Lisa. I want to just like absorb this. Oh, that looks so
Oh,
good.
thank you. Thank you very,
I
very
need to, like,
much.
step back a second and watch it in all its glory again.
Again, you can repeat. Repeat, rinse.
Awesome. Very cool. And we'll do a giveaway too, by the way, here in a sec. We need to do some giveaways.
All right, so I just kind of moving into some more kind of, because I see the clock is running away. Am I finished? No, but the time is going to be finished.
Yeah.
So I'm just going for maximum impact right now. So I'm doing some dodging and burning. Let me show you what that's doing to it. So if I was to turn this dodging and burning layer off and then turn it on, you'll see, you know, I'm kind of shaping the lights. If you
More
look
drama.
at the mountains around here, look at the depth here. I haven't done a lot of burning yet, but just dodging. You can kind of see that. And then same down here, I'm kind of creating more depth, more three-dimensional depth, but also darkening down the edges a little bit, drawing the attention to the product here. So that's basically what I'm doing now. So I'm just adding, but I'm going to do a little bit more in a second. Well, maybe I'll do it now just so I can show you how I'm going to do it. Because what I would do is I'm just working those ears. But I want to do a little bit day for night. So, which is basically taking something that is daytime and making it look like night. It's a common term for those of you who don't know the term. So basically, the way I do it, there's a million ways of doing this, but the way I like to do it is to just create a gradient, a curve. Sorry, I don't know where the word gradient came from. I create a curve, and the great thing about curves is they're great for tones. They're also great for colors. So two things define nighttime. Well, a lot of things do, but the two I'm talking about right now is it obviously is darker. So we're going to take our curve. Let me just pull that. There we go. So I'm just take those shadows. I'm going to pull them down a little bit. Okay, now it's darker. Obviously, I got to tweak that a little bit. But the other thing that happens too is the color temperature is different. So, you know, during the day, it's different. The sun has a warmer color than the moon. That was real basic color theory right there. But, you know, you kind of see this blue kind of glow. I know that was so, like, really Captain Obvious. That was
more
Captain
that
Obvious.
was pretty epic,
People
yeah.
are getting blown away in the chat. You guys hearing this? What, during the day it's brighter? Is that what you
I know, go figure. So, anyways, you see a little bit of this kind of a blue tint at night. So I've kind of got that there. Right now it looks absolutely horrible. It's like, Colin, you just ruined your image. What are you doing?
But it is feeling more like nighttime.
But we can start to change things. You know, we can go into different blend modes. You know, we can start to see a little bit more contrast happening. But we can also adjust the opacity. We don't have to go full on. So I'm going to go like that. And now I'm going to create a gradient because this side is daytime. So what I'm going to do is just grab black to white gradient. And in fact, I'll pull it up full so you can see what's happening. And I'm just going to create a gradient mask there. So what I've done is this side here is now unaffected, and the other side is affected, so I'm just going to play around with it. So here's how you can kind of, once again, I will adjust this later, but I just want to keep it up really high so you guys can see what's going on. This is kind of an extension of the dodging and burning or shaping the light. And what I'm going to do is just paint onto that mask here, on that curves adjustment. And if I grab the brush and paint with black, you'll see, you know, I can create, make sure around there, good. Well, I always do that. I went to select a mask, didn't mean to do that, sorry guys. Make sure the opacity's turned up here, because I want to do it with the layer. Let's get that there, good. Okay, so I'm going to say it's a 50% opacity, that's the 5 key, and now if I paint here, notice, let me make a huge brush so you can see, you're painting away the effects. I should make it 100 of that curve. See that? So all I'm doing is just selectively thinking about where would the light be striking. And even though the light's technically coming from the moon, you know, we want to paint some more of that moon back in. I'll get to that in a sec. But we also have the light coming from here. The warmer light is going to be coming from this side and striking the side of our WolfBear. So not only do we want to define, you know, like the rim or around the edge, because that's pretty obvious, but inside there's more shape, like the nose is actually going to be sticking out. So anything that would be protruding,
a little bit of light,
would be capturing a bit of that light. And that's just how you can go and create depth inside of an object and make it look a little bit more three-dimensional. So that's basically what I'm going to be working on for a little while.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, can you just really fast, because again, we're going to switch to Chuck as well. Can you show... color lookup tables?
Oh, I love color lookup
Yeah,
tables.
absolutely.
Show 'em,
Oh, I don't know
they're
what
great.
that is.
Just real
Okay,
fast.
so color lookup tables are incredible because I'm kind of creating the cinematic effect by hand. And if we go in here, they're under an adjustment layer, and actually sometimes I like to make my own lights. I just turned off those 2 layers so you can see. But if we go under here's an adjustment layer. And under the adjustment layers here, we can bring up
That might be really far down there, but I'm
color
gonna-
lookup. You guys can
There
see
you
it
go.
there.
Cool.
Okay, so basically what you can do is you can load in your own lights, or you can do the ones that come here with Photoshop. So you can get some great looks, like, the
Because I think
ever
there is
popular.
a night.
Whoa.
There's a night one.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, I'll
there
do
is,
the night
yeah.
one. Yeah. Okay. Let's do that. Not that one there. Let's go here.
So
I believe it is the foggy night. There we go.
Let's try.
So there's one.
Ooh.
There's
That's
a horror
great.
one
Like, I
too.
mean, how drastically did it? I mean, yeah. That's
Yeah,
a-
huge
the horror
difference.
blue
Ooh,
here, if you want
horror
to do
blue.
that.
Oh, that's not that horrible. Oh,
And then there's other
horror.
kind of things. So maybe I should
Not
do that.
horrible
Yeah,
blue.
it's kind of, you know what? That's a good call.
Futuristic bleak.
What's that one look like?
It's in the middle.
Futuristic bleak. This one here. Yeah, it's kind of nice though.
Yeah.
It has its cool things going on. Yeah. The
So
horror blue.
essentially, this is like a pro going in and applying levels and curves and all like hue and all this stuff rolled up into one. So that's kind of what's going on there. So it's super fun to play with.
There's
Moonlight.
a moonlight. Oh, you know what?
Yeah,
Why don't we?
nighttime.
I mean, that's obviously pretty hard, but why don't we do that? You know what? And to save time, you can grab a mask from one adjustment and just steal it. Boom, and then so I don't have to redo that mask. So basically,
Oh, yeah.
all my
It'll
adjustments
just
are.
apply it there. Can you
right
go
there.
full screen on that so we can see it in all its glory?
Yes, I can. Let's do that.
I know you guys are still working on it. Thank you so much. We're down to our last 5 minutes. You're like the best with the water.
Yeah, he's a waterman.
Ah.
Waterman. That'll be my name from now on.
And we gotta save time for giveaways.
All right, so I will give it to.
Can you
Chuck.
swap out the wolf's head with the bear's? No, that would be too much work.
Give Chuck a chance.
All right, Chuck, you're up, buddy.
I'm
We'll
good.
switch over.
Someone
Oh,
hashtagged
maybe
you.
you're good. We at least need to show
I'm
your
ki- I'm
show your
kidding.
final piece.
I don't
We'll
think
do
my
a couple
dry
giveaways.
humor,
We'll
my
give away
humor's not coming
120
across
stock
at this
credits,
point.
another hovering art director.
Here we go. So yeah, I pulled. You can't really see it too well, but I did pull in a couple of those blend elements that I did. So I'll zoom into 100%.
That's the most intimidating wolf I've ever seen.
And it's funny, right? Because it's perfectly symmetrical.
I think he's reading my mind. He just
So here, up here, you can kind of see that kind of concentric diamond shape that I made, and I just pulled in. You know, it's nice to just have like a small, simple element that you build in Illustrator and then pull it into Photoshop, and they work so well together. So if you put a smart object in and you have this sort of still editable vector element in Photoshop, you can always double click it and edit the content in Illustrator and save that file, and then it'll update in real time back into Photoshop, which is really nice. And then also this kind of circles that wrap out from the edge here. But yeah, so this is my
Piece de résistance.
yeah.
Right.
it's awesome.
This is, like I said, this is like a band. You got to just imagine. I'm really obsessed with the idea of creating and designing for a fictitious band, because I don't have time and energy to be in a band. But I do have a project I'm working on where I basically create things for a band that doesn't exist around storylines that I kind of just come up with. And then it sounds like whatever you want it to sound like, but I like the idea of it. And if you don't, have your own musician client or whatever, and you still want to do t-shirts or whatever, the way that you would approach it for music. And that's kind of like what I think of with this. It's WolfBear, the band, and the album's called Ginger Beer. And it's like
Awesome.
Wolf
That's
Bear,
awesome.
they're really
The
like
album's
crusty
Ginger
punk
Beer.
kids. Like a bunch of like 19-year-old like crusty punk kids that like hop trains and stuff. Like that's kind of
That's great.
so.
so awesome.
That's my thinking on this.
It's like even back to your roots of. Did you say you did like club flyers?
Yeah, when I was 18, my friend, actually my first job ever out of high school, I worked at Threadless. I don't know if people know what Threadless was.
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
I was their 5th employee.
Wow.
One of my shirt designs was one of the first 50 shirts ever printed at Threadless, and now they've
Oh,
obviously
wow.
done like thousands. And that's how I got to know them. And then I asked them if they were hiring, and they hired me to pack T-shirts. and I went in there because I just wanted to be around the people. And
That's
this guy
great.
Jeffrey, who I consider to be kind of one of my first ever like mentors, he did flyers for a club in Chicago called Smart Bar, $100 a pop, and asked if I wanted to do them, and I was like, hell yeah, I'll get rich doing
That's
flyers.
awesome.
Did like 4 flyers a month maybe, and that's kind of how things started. So. And that's also the thing about working quickly and just knowing when you're done.
Yeah.
Not having a lot of time on a
Yeah.
project.
It's a blessing.
Time,
It's a
there's
blessing.
no time to decide if you're done or not. You're
Yeah.
done
'Cause-
because they need the file.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, no,
That
it's
looks fantastic.
quite a history. So let's do some giveaways real fast. We're kind of down on the last like minute or so. Yes, Micah, I love it too. I love all your guys' work as well. Super cool.
Hey.
Let's do some quick giveaways. We'll give away like 120 credits right now. And we're going to give that to Shakia Moore. Shakia Moore, because she's taking time. She's not even working on her own piece. She's just been watching them. So we've heard from her a couple times. So Shakia Moore, we're going to give you 120 stock credits. Congratulations.
Woo!
Yes. All right. Feel free, if you guys have seen anything that you've liked here, let me know. What's that? And the dude, we're going to give away the hovering art director.
Just make it pop.
Just
Pop.
make it pop.
Make it pop, pop.
All right.
That's
Well,
great.
let's go with this. Hovering art director, we're going to give away to somebody that we have pulled in already. And we're going to go with The Wolf is Ready to Rock because they really liked your piece, Chuck, and it's awesome. Christine Ellsworth, congratulations! We're going to
Yay!
give you hovering art director who could just sit on your desk and annoy you.
Yeah.
So just contact me at Paul Trani on Twitter, and I have your names logged, but just in case you don't hear from us in a whatever, just contact me if you have any issues. But thank you so much. Like, I got to share your sites, guys, like real fast if you guys don't mind.
Never.
So, real fast, Lisa, super cool having you here.
Thank you. Thank you
Super-
so much, you
super
guys.
dope
Thanks for
work.
joining us.
Thanks.
Did you stick
And
to-
then, Photoshop Cafe,
yes.
Colin Smith, we're just showing off doing a shout out, just showing your URL.
Cool.
So
Thank
now
you.
people know how
Yeah,
to get
lots
hold
of
you.
free Photoshop tutorials. Check
Yep.
them out.
Yeah.
New one every week.
Yeah.
Style.
Yeah.
And no pattern.
No pattern.
Okay.
There's not a single
and
pattern.
Not one. Even though
There is.
There's
though. You
nothing
go-
but patterns.
There is though. You go to my site and I've like clearly there's
Yeah.
patterns and stuff everywhere. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So follow them on the interweb, and don't forget to, if we didn't call out your name, you can always enter. So by the way, we don't have any cap on the number of entries you can submit. Just FYI.
Ooh.
Or do we?
There is one. Only one.
All I know. Oh, you can only submit one. Oh, I lied to
Sorry,
you.
one.
You know what? One's all you need. We have faith in you.
That's
One's
right.
all you need.
Make a
right?
decision. That's what it is, right?
Yeah,
Make a
do
Do
decision.
one
Half
great
the
one
battle.
rather than 3 bad ones.
Yeah. So submit. You can win, of course, grand prizes like Adobe Stock, Creative Cloud, iPad Pro, Apple Pencil,
It's a good
Art
package.
Director Guy, tell you what to do. But we thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not amused.
It sounds like Alan Rickman.
But thanks so much, guys. We're 2 minutes over on time. Sorry about that, but hopefully you guys appreciated it. Hit subscribe right below, by the way, and that's a great way to kind of find out what's going on. I know starting tomorrow, 99U, they're going to be live streaming from 99U, which is a conference in New York City. They'll have portfolio reviews and all sorts of fun stuff, but also more things from Adobe Stock, to be honest with you, that I could not talk about because the boss is right there.
We love
And
Adobe
there's
Stock.
there's new
Yay.
stuff coming, and she won't. She's like, she does this. I will break you if we say anything.
She's really scary.
She is scary. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right.
That's good.
We'll see ya.
Yay.
Thanks for having us.